You are tuned in to What Up Baltimore online radio. Please note that the views and opinions expressed on this channel are of the host and not of Lady J Media. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, What Up Baltimore TV. And if you really don't want to miss any of the shows, hit that notification bell and you'll get a message every time we come on. Now, we got it from here, so sit back, relax, and stay tuned. Okay, right. Welcome to What Up Baltimore. Can y'all hear me, panel? Can the panel hear me?
Yes.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So listen, tonight we have a guest on. This guest was actually on Jamal's show. Where did he go? Is he still in there? Smart, you still there?
We gotta get in the light. You in the light on, boy?
Yeah. I just parked my car. I gotta go
Let me
upstairs.
see.
Some more light. There'll be some more light on me in about 5 minutes.
I think that was me. You still there, Smart?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Okay. I think
Yeah,
that was me. My mic had gone out. Sorry, y'all. But anyway, everybody, we had a guest tonight on Jamal's show, Hustle Hard, Be More. And so I just want to say this before we get started. I asked this young man to come back on a 9 o'clock show because y'all know that on Lady J Media, I really, pride the station on. We have fun shows. We talk about a lot of stuff. But my biggest thing with these shows is I always want people to feel like they've been heard. And so I didn't feel like the young man was heard like he should have been. So I invited him to come back on because he was telling giving a powerful story about his life. And I think it was missed in between all of the other things that were going on. So I want to introduce Smart. We're going to let him give his story. And y'all, he does spoken word. I just found out he's a boxer and he do all kinds of stuff in the community. So I want to give him a chance to tell us what he was saying before. And then, then Jamal and Chad and I will come back in. So Smart, thank you for coming back on. I appreciate it.
Oh no, for sure. Give me about 2 minutes. I'm just getting up the elevator.
Okay, no problem. So
Can you hear me clear? You can see me clear and everything?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay.
Go ahead and get on off the elevator. But so anyway, for those of you who don't know, Jamal comes on. His show is called Hustle Hard, Be More. It's him and brother Chad, and they come on every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. And so they had this young man, and Jamal normally has a panel. This young man was actually on the panel with them tonight. And so we're going to talk about listening after he goes off because he has to go and do. He's a busy young man.
Thank you.
He has to go and he has to go and be great as he is. And so when we finish talking to him, and I hope that he will come back again on the show when he has more time, we're going to talk about listening. Because some of y'all just don't know how to listen, and that's a problem. And I say that all the time. Don't know how to listen. So we're going to let this young man, he's going to have his airtime.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
No problem. So we're going to allow him to have his airtime. Powerful brother. Wait until you hear what he has gone through. And this is a great testimony of how you can have a very, very bad life. It's up to you to turn it around. I say that all the time. It's up to you. And so I love what I was hearing about what he's doing now. Because when I talked to him on the phone, I was like, man, your journey was, I don't know. Like, that's why God, he gives battles to certain people because he knows that certain people are going to be able to walk through it. So now I love what he's doing right now. And the reason I said we're going to talk about listening when this is over is because as adults and as older people, some older people act like they ain't never been through nothing. And you have so much advice to give like you've never gone through anything. And if we would go and pull back the covers and open some of them doors, we would see some of the mess you went through, some of the stuff that you said when you were younger. And so we have to learn when our young people are sitting in front of us and they're talking. No, it might not make sense to us. It may not be what we want to hear, but allow them to speak. Allow them to be heard. That's why a lot of them don't talk to us anymore. allow them to be heard. I think this brother said he's 28, 29 years old. You know, so I'm glad that he's on here, came on Jamal's show to speak. So we want to give him the time to say what he has to say. Y'all do me a favor, make sure you share the video. This is he goes by Smart. So
Right.
Mr. Smart, come on.
Oh, yeah, how you
Tell us
doing?
about you.
Oh, okay. So, no, I mean, again, I think that, you know, listening is important, but also establishing an adequate line of communication, right? And, you know, because there's trust that has to be built before you as an older person, before you know, make, you know, tell someone who's younger what they want to do, right? So if I survived my whole life drinking soda, water may be the better option, but I never seen you before. You're not gonna come to me and I just met you and tell me, oh, hey, put that soda down. Here's this water. You're gonna drink this water and you're gonna take it from me and you're gonna drink it. Fam, fuck you, fuck the water. Is there's nothing you know, you have to you have to establish a line of trust. And then with trust, once you establish trust, then you have to, you know, establish you know, being reliable and being consistent, right? Don't give me no water on the first day you met me. Don't tell me soda's bad on the first day you met me, right? Now you may leave the bottle of water, right? You may show me that you're drinking a bottle of water yourself, right? And every time I see you, you got a smile and you just drinking the water and you like, water. Matter of fact, hold on, let me get a bottle of water as we talking. I'm kind of dehydrated. I need some water right now. Shout out to Smart Water. They're gonna be cutting me a check soon. You know, but and you're drinking the water and you're like, man, oh my goodness, wow, this is amazing. So now you pique my interest, right? Now I'm curious. Man, okay, what is this thing in here you got? Oh, not just some water. What's that water? Now I've been drinking soda. Can I have some of yours? Sure. You want some water, man? Any day now, right? So what you did was you didn't force nothing, right? Like you organically let me, you know, come in contact with this beautiful thing called water. And water is an analogy or symbol for wisdom, right? So that's the first point I want to make. The second point I want to make is I definitely forgave my mother, but I went through this was a process, right? And I'm sharing my story because somebody's gonna watch this who's going through the same pain.
Right.
And I remember getting out of prison, right? And this is what I didn't say. I got out of prison and I met with my mother. This was the last time I spoke to her. This was years ago. And
Excuse me, 1 second, Smart. 1 second. Now, for those people who may not have watched Jamal's show, can you just run back through your story a little bit before you get to where you are now?
Okay, for sure. So
Yeah.
so you know, I was invited on the show. And it was kind of like, you know, different from what I'm used to. I'm used to like I'm being a center focus, right? And I've done really big interviews, and the interview was kind of like centered around me, right? So, you know, and I could tell that, you know, the guy may didn't know who I was, right? So I said, you know, I'm born in Harlem. My life early on was tough because, you know, my mother was kicked out when she was pregnant. And my father wasn't around, and my mother, she was going through a lot. She turned to drugs. She got addicted. And then when she had me, it was almost like she blamed me. So those things that she went through, I became the target. I became her focus, and she took out her pain on me. She would beat me. One time she made me drink, like she tried to make me overdose on cough syrup. You know, and she made me, and I had like 120-degree fever. It was crazy. And my mother would just leave me, and, you know, lock me in these crack houses and go out and get high and lock me in closets to forget I was in there. Then eventually I learned how to get out. And I'm breaking out of these places, and I'm going out on the street. I'm trying to figure out how to eat, and I'm going to supermarkets, and I'm stealing food from supermarkets, right? And my mother, she put a pin's worn out on me, and so I didn't end up in prison on my own. my first time being in jail in juvie was because my mother put a pins warrant out on me, and when I got picked up by the police after she left me in an abandoned building, they put me in a boys' home, right? So, you know, and my brother, one of my brothers, I don't want to share the details of because it's my brother's story, but I'm sharing it because he came to terms with this. He was molested by his stepfather, right? And I ended up shooting the guy. And my mother never she never protected none of my brothers. So I became almost like the father for my younger brothers. And I'm dealing with all this pain. I'm dealing with all this trauma.
How old was you when you shot this person?
I was 11.
So you was in a grown-up situations.
Wow.
You was in a grown-up situation at 11 years old. So imagine between 6 and 11.
Yeah, for sure. But and at that point, I was in a situation where I had to be my brother's protector when I needed protection. So I had to, because this guy, he didn't physically molest me, but he would knock my tooth loose, break my nose. He really beat the shit out of me. Like he was beating me like a grown man. And I watched him beat my mother. And for him to do that to my brother, all I cared about was protecting my brother. And, to be in a situation where I had to desensitize myself and not worry about myself, but I had to worry about my brother because I felt like that what he was dealing with was worse than me. So fuck that. This is my brother. I'm gonna kill you, nigga. And my mother, defended this guy, called police on me, tried to jump in front of the gun, right? It was craziness, right? And I'm dealing with all this as a child. This is before I decided to sell drugs and go to prison because we always look at the tree, but not the root. Right? We always look at the middle of the movie, the ending of the movie, and not the beginning of the movie. And by the way, I don't sell drugs anymore. I don't smoke weed. I don't drink. Okay, I don't commit crimes. I'm a business owner. I'm successful. And I've turned my life around. So I blame my mother for the pain, but I blame God for the success. And I have success. You can Google the smart guy _ and what I've been doing pops up. Okay, so and I wasn't bashing my mother during this time. I just, said what I went through, and I tried to be as even kill as possible.
In a rap song, you never said anything about your mother until you said the song.
That was song. and his mother. So and I said it, but in the song. But listen. But here, I didn't. It was no disrespect. Listen, this is the song. So again, Lady J touched on it. That older gentleman had trauma and he was triggered and he was trying to use me as an scapegoat for his own demons. I never disrespected my mother, right? This is what I said. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. I felt like a motherless child. You can't tell me how to feel. No support from my mother. There was no support. Sometimes I wish I would have came from a different pussy. C-section. Even in birth, she didn't push me. This is my life. I didn't make it up. And my mother had a C-section. So even in birth, she didn't push me. Meaning my whole life, my mother never protected me, never protected my brothers. Always left me. One time she was so high out of her fucking mind, she left me at a bus stop. And the police had to bring me back to the fucking house. And she gave me that look like, if you tell them what's really going on, when they leave, I'm gonna beat you half to death. She made it seem like I ran away. You understand? When she left me at the fucking bus stop. Right? So what I'm saying is I'm feel like a motherless child. Every other week you got a new man in the house. This is my life. The fuck you mean? You got every time I come home from school, I'm seeing a new nigga. Every other week you got a new man and you got the nerve to point to him like he the man of the house. And they all wanted me to call him dad. All these jokers wanted me to, you're not my father. I know you're not my father. So I grew up confused. Plus I'm getting beat until I'm black and blue. And you wonder why I'm in school acting a fool. I'm cutting class. I'm picking fights. I can't follow the rules. And by the way, free lunch won't cut it. I'm still hungry. I need food. So I hooked up with Daryl. I'm selling weed now, mama. I'm making moves. I'm trying to find a way to fucking make some money, but I'm too young to work. Right? I'm making moves. You put a pins warrant out. You Google motherfuckers pins warrant. You put a pins warrant out. Left me in the system. You left me in the system. Plus, you ain't called back. Dang, love, what you call that? If you ain't want a son, mama, shit, you should have left me in that ball sack. But it's two sides to the story. Let's play devil's advocate. There's two sides to the story. Yeah, I know, but I ain't having it because there's too many demons inside I got to battle with. So fuck whoever's trying to play devil's advocate because y'all don't understand how real this is. Hey, yo, I was just a kid. Only 5. Me. I had to look my mama in the eyes, half sleep, half high. And you wonder why I'm outside smoking weed, pistol in my pocket, plus I'm throwing up gang signs. It's because you a junkie, mama. Now, how you gonna demand respect? I guess you beat me because I look like the man that left. A spinning image of my daddy, huh? That's why you slapped me? Can none please you? You ain't never happy. Straight A's on report cards getting ripped. Christmas, birthdays, I ain't get shit. Every man I see you with call you bitch. This is what I deal with. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a mother. This is what I feel like. It feels like God cursed me and my brothers because all I do is suffer. Plus the pain came from my mother. A rose won't grow from this concrete. You know, Tupac said the rose.
Right.
A rose won't grow from this concrete because the roots is getting pulled out and the petals getting stepped on. You came home high, beat me half to death. You said that I slept wrong. But mama, it's bloody tampons, plus empty bottles of liquor and crack valves on the same bed I'm sleeping on. How the fuck could I sleep wrong when you got me laying on a bed I could barely even sleep on? Right? This is my life. Where's the disrespect? I'm giving you a description of my life living with this woman. But so he was obviously triggered. He sound like a mama's boy, somebody who was raised by his mama, right? And didn't have his daddy. So he wants to be the defender of all mothers. I get it. But at the end of the day, this is my pain. You can't tell me how to feel. And then what happened, if you guys are watching this, he told me at the end of it, he said, yo, young man, I just want to tell you something. The honor thy mother and that father. I said, yo, listen, homie, I get that, but you can't tell me how to feel, and I'm not gonna give dishonorable people honor.
That's true.
You know,
I totally agree with that.
You know, so and that's what that and Jamal said, and I love Jamal for that. I told him that off camera, and the gentleman just wouldn't let it go, and then it became like, okay, before this goes left, let me just leave because a lot of older men have to realize if you don't establish a line of communication, respect, and trust, you tell somebody younger what to do, they can shoot you. They're gonna pull out a pistol and shoot you. So this is the world we live in.
I already know that. I know that people say, where they getting the guns from? What are you people stupid? Like they're making their own guns in their own houses.
But
you know what I mean?
But the reality is, it's the survival. I had to survive. So you can't, and I'm still surviving. Every time a black man leaves his home, it's no guarantee he's gonna walk back to
survival in New York City ain't like Baltimore. Survival in New York is not like Philly. Survival in New York is not like in Wilmington, Delaware. They don't understand that them trenches is not the same. Them ghettos are not the same. They think they in their hood where they come from. You got to go where they're at. That's a whole different pedigree. I've been in them. See, he can't say that. I've been in them hoods.
Yeah, let me hear what he. Go ahead.
But Jamal, what I'm trying to tell you is it's a common denominator. I don't care where you at on this world. If you walk through the jungle and there's a bunch of lions and you covered in blood and you got a meat necklace on, you're gonna get bit, man. It's what it is. There's universal laws in the jungle. And one of those things is you can't regulate nobody. And you definitely can't regulate somebody that don't know you. And you definitely can't tell somebody how to feel about their pain. And then you definitely can't come across aggressive saying, not on my watch. Now you're making it personal. And when you make it personal, it can get violent. So and I told this to Jamal off the camera the other day, right? 2 days ago, I was talking to a young brother in the hood I respect, and he's a little younger than me. I'm listening to him. I'm asking him because I do a lot of work in the hood. So I'm like, yo, you think dudes is jealous or they receiving what I'm saying, right? He said, yo, smart. I'm gonna be honest with you. All you gotta do is wear sweatsuits. Listen,
You
I'm being
serious?
real. I'm being real. Look, cause I'm in the hood. Look, and it's my hood. Look, I'm in the hood, right?
Right.
I got the, you know what I mean? I'm showing love, but he like, yo, look, bro, just that, you know, they're gonna be intimidated by you because you aggressive. You young too, but you a little older than them. So it's like I'm a big brother.
Right.
But he like, listen, you don't need the jury because they're gonna be a little jealous, right? I got respect in my hood. Ain't nobody gonna take my chain, but it's a disconnect because they hungry. They ain't got no chain.
Right.
So he said, listen, you could be fly, but just, yo, bro, do like this, wear the sweatsuit, right? But, you know, and we're gonna wear, and our sweatsuit, we're gonna wear designer sweatsuits. But he's saying, like, you know, wear a sweatsuit, keep a good little watch on, because you give them aspiration, but not
Any envy.
but you're not being condescending, because
Right.
they could look at what you have as if you're looking down on them and not trying to uplift them.
Right.
So I took that brother advice. And this is a brother that live in my hood that's younger than me, that's telling me I gotta listen to him. Because if I don't, he might be the one that blow my brain out.
So you got a generation up in the where I'm 52, right? And those that are older, back in the day, you would see a young man that's up and standing this, that, and the third, and you would think that you could come at him a certain way, because from my generation, when Uncle Pete talked, you just listen. When Uncle Diddy talked, you just listen. So that might have been where that perspective came from.
Nah, listen, bro. Right. Listen, you got to think, bro. Listen, check it out. Look, who you think I'm going to listen to? I'm going to tell you some real shit. Bro. The best I can tell you without incriminating myself. Now.
Then leave it alone then.
No, listen.
Alone then.
No. But I know how to do it. Listen, I get stabbed in the head, right? And if I get stabbed in the head and one of my friends who's younger than me, around my age, make sure I don't get stabbed in the head ever again. But the old head on the block is telling us stories about what he used to do when he was younger. Who you think I'm listening to? Who you think got my respect? The person that made sure I never got stabbed in the head again, that came to my aid, or the person telling me what he did 20 years ago before I was even born?
Both.
Yo, listen, that gray hair, listen, let me tell you something. It's not about what you did. It's about what you're doing. That gray hair don't mean shit to me, man. Because that gray hair didn't affect me. You heard? So
it's a disconnect. Yeah, especially in our society right now. It's a disconnect.
But listen, it's a disconnect because the people that got the gray hair, they think that what they drink make me pee. And it don't.
Yeah.
What you drink make you pee. What I eat make me shit, right?
Right.
So your wisdom don't mean shit to me because I'm going through it now. So when the young homie was talking to me, and we around the same age, but I'm 5 years older than him. You heard?
Yeah.
I gotta listen to him because he going through now.
Like, you listen to what he's saying. Like, I got daughters, right? I'm not calling the police. I'm the police. We the police. We're not calling the police. You understand what I'm saying? Though, and that don't fit for everybody. But it was some situations where my daughter's in East Baltimore. I'm the police, okay? And you can do whatever you want to do if you jump out that goddamn ambulance, because you already know the gym coming. So it's no use even politicking with this stuff. I got a problem with these black males out as this, right? You live your goddamn journey. Let somebody else talk about theirs. They always in the past.
Right,
so
right.
In the past,
and
man.
Look, check it out. Look, let me tell you something. I used to listen. I was a gangster in my hood, right? And I'm gonna tell you I'm giving it to you raw because I want people to learn from this. Keyword is was, right? I was a gangster in my hood. That's why I could drive around my hood, wear jewelry, and be good. But you know what a current gangster in my hood said to me? He said, yo, you think niggas don't give a fuck about what you did back in the day? And then he telling this to me. You heard? I'm gonna let this shit fly. And I told him, I said, yo, look, man, I know you're gonna let it fly. But the difference is when I was your age, I would be more not on drugs. So look, I know you're gonna move how you move. I went like this. I put my hands up. I said, yo, look, I ain't trying to tell you what to do. Just be mindful, know what you're putting in your body. You heard? And I try my best to be respectful of his outlook. even though I disagree with him doing drugs, because when we was young, we was trying to get money. We wasn't trying to just do drugs. Now these kids 15, 16, they popping pills, they smoking. They might shoot you if you say the wrong thing about their Instagram.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That happened every day. The boy killed his mother. 10-year-old boy killed his mother.
So look, so I know that they on prescription drugs. So when you're dealing with somebody on prescription drugs, they're bipolar. You heard? So it could go from 0 to 100 quick. So I know that. I can't judge him. I just said, yo, bro, you got it. I respect it. Just make sure you know what you're putting in your body. And we laughed and I gave him a hug. You heard? But this is
delivery.
Somebody, it's my delivery after I established a rapport with him. I didn't just tell it to him the first day. I would see him on the block and he'd be like, yo, smart. I'm watching you. I heard about you. He calling me OG, right? I ain't tell him nothing. I ain't say, yeah, you got to do it like this. I just said word, gave him a hug, and kept it moving. This is 6 months. You heard? Real talk. 6 months of me just saying hi and bye. And then he came to me and asked me a question. You can't give unsolicited advice because you think you got gray hair. You could lose your life doing that in 2023, bro.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this, because I know you have to get to your and send me your I can't think of the thing.
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah, my Instagram.
No, not Instagram. You said you got to go to what is it called?
Clubhouse. Yeah,
Clubhouse.
My Clubhouse. My Clubhouse is gonna be at 10 o'clock or 10:15. I'm waiting for
when the fight.
No, he's talking about he got a show. What is your Clubhouse?
So Clubhouse.
Plug your show.
Huh?
Plug your show for people like me that don't even know what Clubhouse is.
Or is it something else?
No, Clubhouse. Clubhouse.
I know what Clubhouse. You know I know what Clubhouse is.
right. No. I mean, everything is just a smart guy _ You if you
ain't
type
talking to whack 100 on there or not?
Nah. But I want to finish this point though, right?
Right.
It's very important that we understand how to be patient before you give criticism, right? And you gotta establish trust first. You can't just tell me, you can't just come in my life and I don't even know you. You trying to tell me what to do? That shit dangerous, bro. And for me, I'm reasonable. Listen, I'm gonna keep it real. It's a kid in my projects right now, right? Where I come from. If that same conversation would have been when in person, that kid would have pulled out a gun and shot him.
This is some information I got recently, real briefly. I'm talking to somebody, I can't remember if I'm watching it, if I'm talking to somebody, and they basically said what you just said. It's like there is no rationale anymore. Like the bipolar with the pharmaceuticals and all this good stuff, there is no conversation. If you're not on that wavelength, if you're not on that frequency, you're just not. And the bigger point was a lot of these folks are mad at their mother, mad at their father.
Right.
And what the fuck do we look like to them? We look like the motherfucker. They can't go smack mom.
But no, bro, listen,
you can smack me.
Listen, you saying it wrong. You don't understand. You think you understand. You saying it wrong. You triggering that. How I'm mad? No, it ain't about being mad, bro.
I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me.
I'm just saying because I watched, like, my manager called me and he seen the show, and he showed, and when he called me, he said, yo, look, I want you to watch the show after you got off. And I watched the show. It ain't about being mad, bro. And Jamal said it. You cut my leg off and throw it across the room. I'm supposed to be happy with that? For every action is a reaction, brother. Kids are hurt, man. They left, man. It ain't about being mad, man. Motherfucker hurt. The woman that gave birth to you don't love you. You think I'm supposed to be okay? I'm blaming somebody? The woman that birthed me, abused me, let my brother get hurt, left me in I could have died in prison. I've been through so much shit in my life. Like, you ain't about being mad. It's we human, man. And why do we keep trying to defend the abuser? This shit is crazy to me.
My point of what I was saying is,
I'm listening. Let me just say this, right? Because I came back on the show to be heard, right? And what we got to understand, I'm the youth, and it's kids younger than me that's not as articulate as me. So when you got an opportunity to speak to a representative, take heed, man, because your wisdom means nothing if you can't listen. Stop saying somebody mad. No, you think it's okay? You think what is a mother supposed to do? What is a father supposed to do? We see a lot of times we always throw the father under the bus. Deadbeat daddy, deadbeat daddy. There's deadbeat mothers out there.
Right. So the point that I was making is that the youth are angry at those adults in their general vicinity.
Say that.
I'm talking about my point.
Let me clear this up.
You saying
I'm
the
talking
wrong
about
words,
my
though.
point. From what I see, everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an perspective.
I'm younger than you. Hold on, Jamal.
And I started by saying I heard somebody else say this. I'm just bouncing around an idea. The idea is that the younger generation are mad at some of the people that are older, and I look like mom or dad.
I don't think they're mad. So this is what I wanted to say. And
we don't care.
I said this to your manager that a lot of children are going through trauma. They've been sexually abused, all different type of trauma. My son is 26. So as a mother, I'm supposed to be a nurturer. I'm supposed to hug up on my son. I'm supposed to love him. I'm supposed to teach him how to be great. Now, if I'm doing the opposite of all of that and put my son through hell, how do I expect my son to know how to love, to know how to give, to know how to hug? And on top of that, how do I expect my son to love me? I can't expect my son to give something that I didn't give to him. I'm the first woman in his life. And so with this young man, he had a mother, he had a father. The people that were supposed to give and pour into him did not do that. And we can't tell him right now, you got to love them, you got to do this, you got to do that. He can't pour into somebody.
This is what they are. This is what they are. They are.
And it's not about being angry. So we got to stop.
I'm going to say what it is.
And mad.
They hurt and don't give a fuck. They hurt and don't give a fuck.
Right. Jamal, both of y'all, listen, both of y'all is 100% right. See what he said? You got to stop telling somebody, like you said it. It's both of y'all just said was 100. I couldn't have said it better. We hurt and we don't give a fuck. And at the end of the day, you got to stop telling me what I am. Stop telling me, yo, you angry, you mad. Listen, let me tell you something. I done started businesses. I done made money. I done traveled the world. I've been taking care of my brothers. My mother, I'm my brother's father, man. I got 8 brothers I take care of, bro. I pay their rent, their cell phone. I buy them sneakers. I just gave my brother 12 pair of fucking sneakers. We don't give a fuck, man. We moving forward, bro. And ain't nobody living in the past. And let me tell you something. You know what I started realizing about my mother? She took a lot of pleasure in being in control when I allowed to have control over the closure aspect, right? It was almost like she got off on me searching for her an apology. And when I stopped giving a fuck, that's when she started calling me, reaching out to me. You know why? I said this in one of my songs. I said, I had to realize the flaws I had inside came from my parents, but the time it took for me to change, I can't take for granted. Subconscious jealousy they had for me. What I said? Subconscious jealousy they had for me highlighted regrets. Damn, hold on. This is some powerful shit. Hold on, because it's in my song. I said, no competition, the only mission to achieve my goals. So clear I could close my eyes and still see the road. I pray for wisdom. Awareness slightly shifted my vision. I made mistakes on this journey. Thank God I'm forgiven. The youth is wasted on the young. I need partial percentage. Youth is wasted on the young. I need partial percentage. Life a bitch. They fuck her wrong, but my heart is in it. I had to realize the flaws I had inside came from my parents. The time it took for me to change won't take for granted. Subconscious jealousy they have for me, I feel it in my soul. Because reaching my full potential highlighted regrets they have for not reaching their own. You understand? So, a lot of times, me overcoming the pain and my mother seeing me overcome the pain she inflicted on me, it highlighted and made her realize her inability to overcome her pain and her trauma. So she refused to free me in the form of closure. She refused to apologize to me because
I'm living it.
Listen, so her apologizing to me was almost like her. It's crazy. It's like she didn't admire the strength I had. She hated the strength that I had.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I had to realize that in order for my mother to give me closure, she had to give herself closure.
Narcissism.
And she was never strong enough to give herself closure.
Narcissism.
So she refused.
Wow.
So she listen, bro. Stop giving these shit titles, bro. She refused. She refused to give me closure because she didn't have the strength to give herself closure. And the fact that I realized this, I had to let her go. I had to forgive her, but I had to give myself closure, and I had to go to God, and God healed me because God helped me realize that my mother, even though she had the power to heal me, God had the ultimate power to heal me. And that's how I did. And that's how I found my closure without getting it from my mother. Okay. So, and for the young people watching this, you go to God. You ain't got to go to your mama. You go to God. You ain't got to go to your daddy.
I hear you.
You go to God. Now listen, it doesn't mean because you go to God, you hate your mother. It means that you're not waiting for that closure that's not going to come. And let me tell you something, Brother Chad. I was out here shooting people. I was out here kidding. I was doing a lot of wrong, bro. I was on demon time because my mother wouldn't give me the peace that I needed. And when I went to God, that's when I got that peace. That's when I really healed. That's when it was like, oh, I get it. Ma, I forgive you, but stay over there.
And that's real. Sometimes you gotta love people from a distance, even your family. You gotta love them from a distance so you can have peace. And I always tell people, I'm not responsible for my mother, my father, my sisters, my son's happiness. I'm not responsible for this. I'm responsible for my peace and happiness. And when you find peace, unfortunately, it could be people in your family that you gotta say, I love you, but stay over there. But you find your peace and you stay there and you don't let anybody disrupt your peace. The journey that they're on has nothing to do with you. And how old is your mom?
I don't even know. Listen, I'll be honest with you. Listen, we call it a birth canal over here.
Okay.
Okay. I don't listen because a mother look, and I want to say this too, right? For the people watching this and that's going to see this, right? And for the people on, that's on this beautiful interview right now, I want y'all to notice, take this with you. Some people can't survive being around the people that abuse them. So you got to get away sometimes, right? And I don't give a fuck what, like, and I'm talking from person. I can listen. I can speak for me. I started doing a whole lot better when I just let go. I started doing a whole lot better because the last straw was for me was I remember screaming to the top of my lungs in my mother's face, screaming, screaming. And this is what I do regret. And I hope God forgives me. And this is the only thing I feel sorry for in terms of my mother. I spit in my mother's face, right? And I remember my grandfather died. I watched my grandfather die. He died of cancer. And my mother, I took care of my grandfather his last month of him living. He didn't want to go to hospital. He wasn't taking medication. I took care of my grandfather. I waited on my grandfather, hand and foot, took care of him, right? And he died, and that shit broke my heart. And my mother, she never came to visit. And she waited till my grandfather died, and she came around trying to see if there was some money, right? And cool, I ain't have an issue with it. But my grandfather, if he was alive, he wouldn't have want my mother to bring her husband, her current husband, into his home because he was a drug addict. So I honored my grandfather's wishes, even though he wasn't here. I didn't let that man she was dealing with in my grandfather's house. And I told my mother, I said, look, you never did nothing for me. My brothers are nothing. I can't let you disrespect, Pop. And I called my grandfather Pop, right? And I just remember, telling my mother, like, yo, look, man, like, damn, like you never even said sorry for what you did to me. And it was very tough for me to have a reasonable conversation because I was so angry, right? At my mother. And I'm screaming, but I was your son. She kept telling me all excuses. Oh, I was getting high, um, you know, you didn't know I was going through. You didn't know I said, but I was your son. I was your son. You beat me. You left me with these people. You didn't feed me. You did all like you did all this shit. You choked me. You did all types of shit. You tried to kill me. I was your son. And I'm screaming to the top of my lungs, and I'm just angry. I'm so now at that time I was angry, brother Chad. I was angry. That time, brother Chad, I was mad, right? And I'm looking in my mother's eyes, and I see nothing. I see no remorse. I see no guilt. I see no love. I just see nothing. I just see nothing. And at that moment I realized that this woman is not a mother. And I was so enraged, I spit in her face. And she just looked at me, and she knew she deserved it. And you talking about a woman who tried. My mother threw me down in an incinerator. I survived as a baby. My mother tried to make me. This is real shit. I'm not making nothing up. You know, my mother locked me in the closet. It's like my mother was crazy, man.
Can I ask you a question? Does this traumatize you talking about this? Because
listen. No, absolutely no.
I need to know that.
No. It don't, because I'm healed. But I'm sharing these details because listen, I was almost molested, right? And I fought this guy off me. My mother would leave me. She would leave me with all these people she was getting high with, right? And I remember one of the people that she used to get high with had like an older son. He was like 18, and I was in the bathroom trying to wash up, and he came in the bathroom and pulled his dick out, right? And I said, "What the fuck you doing?" And I wasn't a regular kid, by 5, I'm outside, so I knew like I was a lot more older than I should have been, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I knew. I said, "My man, fuck you doing? Put that shit away, homie. What you know what I mean?" And if I wasn't an advanced 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, that situation could have went differently, because I might have didn't sense the danger but I've been in the street, right? And I'm telling my mother this, and I remember peeing in the bed, and my mother would beat me. And the only reason I peed in the bed because she used to. We was in all these funny abandoned houses, so I'd be afraid to go down the hallway. So I'd be so scared. I'm peeing in the bed. I'm up, and I'm like, fuck that. I ain't getting out this bed. And my mother would beat me, and I'm like what? Listen, my mother. And I'm saying this because there's probably kids that could be going through this now, right? My mother, she had like porcelain dolls, right? And I was scared of dolls until I was 21 years old, right? Because my mother, she had made me watch all these Chucky movies, right? And once my mother found out that I would like figure out how to get out like she would try to leave me in an apartment, and she found out I would get out. She made me watch all these movies about like dolls coming to life, and she put one of her porcelain dolls on the tip of the bed, and she put a butcher knife in the doll's hand, and she told me, she said, yo, you see what happened in the movie? If you leave the apartment, he gonna get you. And I stood there, and that shit worked for a little while, right? It worked because I believed that shit. I would sit there and I'd be like frozen. Could you imagine doing that to a kid? I'm not a grown. It seems funny, but when you're 5 years old, that's some traumatizing shit, right?
Yeah.
And she turned the lights out, and I'm looking at the fucking doll. I'm like, I can't move. I'm scared, paralyzed, right? So I went through all these things because of this woman, and for me to tell her this and to see no remorse in her eyes, and I said, man, I survived that shit though. I got over my fear of dolls because I got tired of being afraid of dolls. So I bought myself, and I never said this. You get an exclusive. I bought a bunch of dolls, and I put them in a room, and I put knives around the dolls the same way my mother did, right? And I forced myself as a grown man to sleep in a bed with dolls that had knives.
So when I said to you that adults are dream killers, you understand what I'm talking
about? Yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is, Allah gave me the strength and the courage to overcome these things, right? And so I had to force myself to deal with that fear and overcome those traumas. And if I didn't have God, I wouldn't have had the strength to survive none of this stuff mentally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very physically strong, but the mental is different, right?
And how old are you again?
Oh, I'm 28, man.
You are 28. You're 2 years older than my son, and I'm listening to, you've gone through stuff that grown people haven't gone through,
But
and
but see, but the good thing about it is, I'm gonna say this though. The good thing about it is, man, your son is very blessed young man.
mm-hmm.
He's a very blessed young man to have a mother like you, right?
Thank
And
you.
and we got to understand, right? Sometimes God puts us through things like testimony is sometimes preparation, but also an avoidance, right? So you can
Mm-hmm.
hear my story and say, I ain't gonna never do that to my son. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, so you got to understand that. And brother Chad, like a lot of these kids, they went through shit that you couldn't even imagine. So it's not anger. It's more like disappointment. It's more
So
like
real
damn.
quick, real quick, right? I got the mother where both the grandmother says stop beating them. My father says stop beating them. Everybody says stop beating them. She hit me with a broomstick when I was 13, and she was dead, and she knew it. So then the tactic became, well, if you put your hands on me, you gotta go. Okay. I can remember the conversations, nothing on your level. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
But I can remember the conversations that break you. Like your mother basically telling you, I don't really need you. I don't really need you.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
if you do anything I don't like you to do, basically fuck off. And I got the same, I'm dealing with the same individual now at 52 years. So I told between shows, or probably between shows, I sat there and said, Jamal, this is confirmation for me because I called my mother yesterday. I called my mother yesterday just to check up on her after going through 50, 60, 70,000 times. Man, it's like you get joy out this shit. It's fucked up. It's like you get joy out this shit. So the hostility and the anger and the rage, I'm glad that you did something extremely constructive with it because like you were saying, or something to the effect of, or like the Muhammad said on the earlier show, you got to put that coal through a lot of pressure to
But
get
then you
that
say you
diamond out.
fought your own father, Chad. You said you fought your own father.
So I only talked to you about that. My father came home 15 years old. 13. He came home drunk as shit, and I'm the scapegoat for his divorce. So he starts fighting me like a grown man. My father never put his hands on me like growing up. He was not the disciplinarian. So he was fighting me, and I started choking him. And I can remember him literally dying. My father was dying in my hands, and it had to be God because I let him go. He was going. I'm watching it. He was going. Now, I don't understand at the time what PTSD and the rest of this shit is because I don't know the next day I got to wake up with this man. I don't know if he ready for round 2. I'm getting thrown out the house. Y'all already going through a divorce. And Pops wasn't too much different from mine. He was on that. He was about him. He was there, but he wasn't. But I still give him credit. In other words, I have to just be thankful that I'm here, but at the same time, that long fucking spoon, the call, it's got to be, I would like it to be more. But it's got to be the call for Christmas. It's got to be the call for birthdays, and that's it.
In a situation, when you say the word honor, we can't tell that young man that. I can't tell you that. I can't tell Lady J that. I heard Lady J's story, Charlene Jenkins' story. I was in shock. But when you utilize the word honor, what the hell are we talking about?
So what I think from my perspective is, as I recognize for me as a Christian, as I understand that everybody goes through a shitstorm. My shitstorm may not stink like yours, but everybody goes through something. Let me finish what I'm saying. Because everybody has to go through a story, and some are worse than others. As I go through the metanetta, as I go through understanding maturity, in other words, how I thought when I was 3 years old, I didn't think when I was 10 years old, I didn't think when I was 20 years old. I think as we mature and get further away from that fucking pain, you can see, like my mother, how broke up she really fucking is. And then you start to feel sorry for her.
So the reason I was asking how old his mother is because there's different generations on the screen, even right now. Yeah. And so every generation is different. My son's generation, my son gonna cuss you out. Now I came from a generation, you better not say any cuss words in front of your parents or you get smacked across the room. I'm different. I understand my son's generation. He'll cuss in front of me. I know that's how they talk. That's the language. They talk and they cuss. So I'm okay with it. But here's the thing. The reason I asked about his mom is because in certain generations, especially from, I would say my generation back, my parents' generation, you were taught to be quiet. And it's a lot of people that's walking around with pain that we don't even know about. And people are birthing children and they got so much hurt and pain up inside of them. And this is going to sound crazy. When some parents start seeing their children even looking like they're going to be successful, that's a trigger for them.
God.
Because something that they want.
Even this show.
Yeah, the child is doing something that they wanted to do. They can't figure out how to do it. And they were not taught how to communicate and sit down and have a conversation with their child and say, how you do that? And so what happens is it turns into rage, it turns into anger, and the parent is triggered by their child, and the child ain't doing nothing.
Right. And Lady J, let me say something too. Not to cut you off, right? We not gonna honor that. See, like that's the thing. It's like the kid, like kids are smart, and everybody, brother Chad, everybody would like to believe that their life is like so relatable to everybody else. Everybody respond to trauma and pain different, man.
Yeah.
Right. So
pain
again,
is subjective.
Right. So
it means it's per individual. Right.
Right. So listen, Chad. Like, so you having to choke your stepdad.
No, my father.
Or your father. Listen, check it out. You having to choke your father may have been the worst thing to you, right? And me having to actually shoot my brother's father, right, might be the worst thing to me. But my brother having to see, me go to jail, right? Him seeing me go to jail might be worse than all that shit to him.
I get it.
Right? So a lot of times we sometimes we make the mistake of comparing pain thresholds. Right? Because Lady J, I'm gonna tell you some real shit. Because Lady J's like she could burn in the kitchen. You know what I mean? Right? I know you can cook, girl. You give me, you know what I mean? So Lady J might be used to frying the chicken and getting popped with the chicken oil, right? And she like, man, it ain't nothing, man. Get out of here. And me, I ain't never been popped by no chicken grease. That shit just touched me. I'm screaming for dear life. Right? Brother Chad, you got a beautiful beard, right? You might be used to shaving and trimming it. I can't grow a long beard. So you might get your chin might be a little stronger because you got that beard, and I don't. So you might be a little more stronger down there than me, right? Brother Jamal, he served, and we thank him for his service. So he might see, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning because he used to PT time, right? He might be used to getting up in the morning like at that time, like it ain't nothing. I might be like, oh my God, I can't get up at that time, right? So we just can't compare pain thresholds, man. And what I had to learn, and I'm guilty of this myself. And it took, let me tell you something. It took my brother's friend to let me understand this, right? I got a brother. He the baby, right? So the baby brother, right? Now, I didn't sold crack. I didn't been through everything. But my baby brother, he and he didn't get a chance to see all the madness, right? I think he had lost his job or something. Like he was working at Amazon, some shit like that. He lost his job and he was ready to kill himself. Right?
Yeah.
And, like literally, for real. Like he was in deep depression, right?
Right.
Let me tell you how fucked up of a brother I was in that moment. You know what I did, brother Chad?
What's that?
I said, you ain't go to prison. You ain't been stabbed in the head. You ain't shoot nobody. You ain't been shot. Fuck is you. You ain't have to sell crack out. I done did. I'm running my resume down to him, right? Because I can't respect, and I still don't. But I learned how to be a brother. And instead of me telling my brother all my war stories and what I've been through, all he wanted me to do was listen to his pain. Even if I respect his little punk ass pain. And I still don't respect his pain, right? But right? him losing that job, he was ready to kill himself.
Right.
And had I ignored the difference in our pain thresholds, because let me tell you something, because that job was symbolic for him. You know, he worked really hard to get that job. And when he lost the job, he felt like he was going to be a failure. So to me, on the outside looking in, I'm like, it's just a fucking job. I didn't been around murder. Fuck, it was a job. But to him, that job, him losing that job meant he's never going to have no life. He's going to be a failure. So I didn't realize that he kept thinking like, oh my God, I'm going to be a failure like my mother. He was just living out shit that didn't even happen yet. And he could have killed himself because of that. So what I'm saying is, we got to learn to not compare pain thresholds and always be sympathetic. And when I learned that, I came back to him and I apologized to him. I said, bro, I love you. Give me a hug, man. No matter what you're going through. I'm getting kind of teary, y'all. My bad. Let me just relax. I got a little emotional for a second, right? And I just had to tell my brother, I love you. I'm your brother. If you need whatever you're going through, I got you. I didn't pass judgment. I didn't say he was angry. I didn't say he was a pussy because he's worrying about a job. I said, I love you and I'm here for you. And sometimes that's all we need, man, is understanding.
Hey, but did you know this? Can I tell you this? People will be envious of you, Charlene Jenkins, first, for the things they cannot do for themselves and the things they will not do for themselves. I had to throw that on her because people are envious of her because of her success. That's hers. Nobody can't own nobody else's success. My success tomorrow is I'm going to bake a goddamn cake. Because you can't measure my success. My success is not materialistic. My success is not money. My success is what I do, what I say, how I treat myself, how I treat people, and what I'm doing for God. We get things mixed up. And then the whole thing out of the nutshell when we was having a conversation, I think that he really wanted to speak out like you spoke out to his mother and father, but he ain't got the guts to do it.
Well, that's the thing, and that's what I was saying. Like sometimes
I'm just keeping it real in the field. You know, I'm from Baltimore, East Baltimore. You see that train wreck? You see that picture up here? I bought that picture on purpose. That's a train wreck of my life. You see the picture?
Look at this young man. He has a
beautiful smile.
I'm looking at this young man. He has a beautiful smile, handsome young. Been through hell, but you know how they say people don't look like what they've been through, and he talks very intelligently. And he triggered someone in that conversation because of he went through so much, but he's able to sit there calmly and talk about what he went through. And so, like I was saying to him, his manager on the phone, that has nothing to do with him. That other person has to deal with whatever it is that they're going through. And sometimes everybody want to be on the show, everybody want to be on the panel. But if you don't know how to listen, and if you haven't healed from your wounds and your scars, and you sit up here and then you want to go off on somebody, because that's all he was doing was telling his story. So what is it? You've never met him before. And I'm not just talking about the guy that was on the show, but you never met the young man before. Don't know who he is, didn't know he was coming on. So what was it that made you go to 1,000 when he started talking? It's you. It's something going on in you. It has nothing
his mother. He said F his mother, and he said he can't stand on that.
Right.
But he can allow you to say
but just say it once. Just say it once. And
here's what I'm saying.
What you mean once?
Just say it once. When you keep repeating it, now it's just chaos. Now,
now nobody can hear shit. What you saying? What? So wait, say.
I'm talking about with the last show. After you make your point, just leave it alone. Not talking about you. I'm talking about when you keep repeating stuff, it just becomes a cyclic argument, meaning we're not getting anywhere. We'll just be sitting here for the next 20 minutes. I hate that shit.
But
I'd rather get somewhere.
But we got to understand this, right? If somebody then you got to think too, right? That's where things become not general but personal, right? Because I'm saying my story, right? So if this is how I feel, it's how I feel, bro, right? So you can't tell me what you're gonna tolerate. Now it becomes like, and Jamal said it, and Jamal gave him some wisdom that probably could save his life if he apply it, right? You don't got authority to say that, bro.
No, you don't.
So you can't tell me what to say or feel about my mother. Now I ain't disrespect his mother. She's probably a beautiful woman, right? But this is what I went through. This is how I feel.
So I don't know if I'm sorry. I don't know if he said this while the show was still going on between shows. I'm not really sure, but I think he said this something to the effect that he wouldn't want this to be a potential pitfall for you in your future. In other words, looking at it in a Christian. Hold up, I can only assume that he was looking at it from a Christian perspective.
Listen, if you're looking at it from a Christian perspective, check it out. Listen, let's keep it all the way gangster, right? Look, man, we choose to follow what we want to follow.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's also in the Bible that Christians shouldn't eat pork. Mm-hmm. But y'all eat pork all the time. Mm-hmm. We gotta be careful with words and manners, right? Like he who's without sin, it's in the Bible, since you want to quote scripture, right? He who is without sin cast the first stone.
Right.
So even if you feel you ain't got the authority, only Allah, only God has the authority, only God could judge me. So you saying you judging me, but saying you ain't got the power to judge me, but you judging me.
So now, understanding that we established that times have changed where people can't speak, generally how they used to speak.
No.
I don't look at it as though he was trying to come for you. I look at it as though he was whatever was going on personal, he doesn't want you to fall victim to whatever he felt.
But the thing is, when you do that, you're contradicting yourself.
Right.
But you're presenting something else. And so that's why I was saying, when we're talking to young people, we got to be clear. Number one, we got to be quiet and learn how to listen and hear what they have to say and remove our feelings or whatever else. My mother did this and my father did that. Yeah. We're not talking about that. We're supposed to be
Brother Chad. Let me tell you real shit, Chad, right? Brother Chad. You come to Harlem, you come to my projects, right? Mm-hmm. And you talking this word of God shit. Talking like that, gonna get shot, bro. Ain't nobody hearing that.
Bad?
Oh,
listen.
Can I tell him what it is? Let me tell him what it is. It's not that. Please let me tell him what it is.
I got you more. Let me just say one thing, right?
I gotta tell him this,
brother Chad. Listen, bro. A lot of people try to hide behind the Bible, and they pick and choose, and they play word semantics. They take out pieces of what they want to say, and then say God said this, God said that, but God said this too.
Yeah.
Right. So, before you quote scripture, make sure you quote scripture in its entirety. Yeah. And then what's your intention behind quoting scripture? Now, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. I didn't have an issue with what he said. I had an issue with the aggression that became behind what he said, and him using or trying to use religion as a shield for him to project aggression. I'm a man. I gotta be respected, bro. Now, if we'd have been in person and you talking all this not on my watch, I'm not gonna do. Yo, homie, what you twisted, bro.
Can I explain it to him now?
Go ahead, Mo.
In the black culture in Memphis, Tennessee, Charlotte, North Carolina, Los Angeles, California, New York, and Baltimore, it's a subculture of a subculture of subculture of different language. It's a subculture of how they connect with each other. It's a subculture of how they see things. Y'all not seeing that. That subculture protects each layer. So when you come with certain, not you, Chad, individually, when you come in these different environments, some of them are gang orientated and some of them are not. In the subculture protects the subculture. It's called street code. So dude like that, the way you talking, they're gonna be offensive because when you show aggression, you're gonna attract aggression. And in 2022, they caused the conflict. Like I'm gonna use Philadelphia. Conflict resolution is the pistol headshot. That's what it is.
That's it.
It's ain't none of that.
But that's everywhere though. But listen, check it out. But brother Chad, listen, I'm trying to tell you.
I tried to explain it to him.
And I'm gonna keep it real with you, right? He wasn't talking that Christian shit. He was trying to be aggressive. So the thing about it is, we gonna pick up on the aggression. So if you if you trying to deliver the word of God, right? And I'm saying this because you might be talking to other young people. LadyJ said it. You don't know me. You never met me before. So how you gonna tell me you can't even? I wasn't aggressive. If you go back, I'm pretty sure you got it recorded. It's up. If you go back and watch the lead up to the disconnect, all I said was, I said my story. Then what he said was, look, can I say something to the young man? So you already trying to little bro me. This is a mistake he making.
That's true.
Right? You already trying to little bro me.
That's
I'm
right.
grown, bro. You ain't no little bro me. So but I'm a little more mature. So I allowed him. I gave him some audience. So you trying to little bro me. All right, you already wrong. But let me listen to what you got to say. Yo, the Bible says honor that. Homie, we ain't hearing none of that shit, B. Fuck out of here. And I'm telling you how a young person gonna think. Fuck the Bible. Fuck you. Matter of fact, where my gun at, bro? Let me the Bible. Yeah, where the Bible at? They gonna shoot you in the head through the Bible. So you gotta understand what you dealing with. Yo, the proper way to do that is, if you gonna tell me something, just tell me. Look, man. From my experience, I went through this with my mom. It helped me to try to forgive her and give her honor. Look, brother, you can't tell me you doing too much, and on top of it, you being aggressive.
Let me drop this. The new
brother Chad.
School,
Jamal, say his last thing, brother Chad. Jamal hit it right in the head. We playing with these guns,
school,
bro. Ain't nobody hearing that shit.
Can I say what the new high school is? The new high school is the penitentiary and the graveyard in these streets. They ain't trying to hear none of that.
Listen, but it's always.
I'm just telling you what it is.
But you don't know me, brother Chad. Brother Chad,
Yeah.
Where you from, brother Chad?
I'm from Baltimore. Yeah.
So you know how I go. I can't come to Baltimore right now. Me personally, I can't go to Baltimore right now and try to tell a little homie on the block what to do. I could die behind that.
Right.
And you can't come to Harlem from Baltimore and tell somebody in my block what to do, bro. It ain't happening, bro.
Thank you for this eye opener, because I'm not as connected with the youth in Baltimore as well as wherever I'm traveling. So I don't know what the flavor is right now. So
that's
I appreciate
everywhere.
You letting me know.
Listen, let's talk Christian shit. Look, let's talk Christian shit, right? Look, if I go to church, right? This is why the youth ain't jacking what the pastor's saying. You go to church, you listen. Let me give a history lesson. You know why black churches are so loud? Because slave owners back in the day, they used church as a way for slaves to release the resistance and that revolutionary power out of them. So you go to church on Sunday, blood of Jesus. Oh, you dancing. You really mad that you ain't paying bills. You mad you ain't got no job. You mad you ain't got no ownership. If you the man, you mad you ain't head of the household. So you go to church and it's allowing you a place to vent, scream, and shout and scream Negro spirituals. And then Monday, you back to the plantation. Okay? So we got to understand how the word of God has been used to limit our people. We got to understand how the word of God has been strategically implemented in our culture to limit us and to break apart our communities. Are we going to church? When you go to church on Sunday, right? Did you go to church last Sunday, brother Chad?
I'm not a regular attender. I'm more like me and him got a personal thing going on.
Okay, brother Chad. So let me just tell you something. So if I go to church on Sunday, right? Is the church talking about on every corner there's a deli, and these Indians in our community making 5,000, 10,000, sometimes 20,000 a day in these deli stores, and we out here struggling trying to find employment? Are they talking about that in the church, Chad?
No.
Or they talking about what happened? Or they talking about what happened 2,000 years ago with a man I never met? What are we talking about?
Well, see, let me just say this. That's why you don't know this, but I do a community church here in Baltimore, and that's exactly what we talk about. Because, like I told everybody, I'm tired of going to church, hearing the Bible stories, hearing about signs. That I don't need to hear about that, because I need to hear what's relevant going on right now. Because you walking the streets, like I walk the streets of Baltimore City by myself, and it's times when it's certain neighborhoods. Certain people, even if you live in the city, you can't walk down because you won't get your headphone off. And so I know that, and I was in that community, and they'll say, okay, watch out for Lady J, she going down the street. But there's certain places in the city you can come out and try to walk if you want to.
If you want to.
You better know how to walk. You better know what to say. You better know when to keep your mouth shut. And so that's why I'm telling people, you can be bad behind the screen. You can talk behind the glass. But when you get the face with people and that gun is presented to you, then you understand, So I for coming on, because I'm telling you, I love your spirit, and I'm so
She loves you, brother. Somebody loves you.
Well, I mean, a lot of people love. Listen, Jamal. A lot of people love you, Jamal, now. But listen,
you got a new
what I'm
family.
saying,
Embrace your new family, dude.
No doubt. But what I'm saying is that's what we got to be careful of, brother Chad. That's why. Listen, let me tell you something. When see, we on technology, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every year, every couple months, what happens in your phone? You see an update,
Update.
right?
Mm-hmm.
The Bible has to be updated. See,
Whoa.
now people like what you said. If Jesus was alive today, you think he gonna have sandals on, or he gonna have Timberland boots on? If Jesus was alive today, you think he would have sandals on in a long robe? We think you some type of freak, man. Jesus
Mm-hmm.
gonna have some Amiri jeans on. Jesus is gonna look like me.
He
Feel
was
me?
walking with the people. And that's what I tell everybody. He wasn't riding on the biggest, fanciest horse back then. He was out there amongst the people. So
Look, Lady J. Jesus would have had a vape in his hand, some iPhone headphones, right? Jesus, listen, see, but people, they don't understand the analogy. It's like people, you reading an outdated version. And you know why? Christianity, even Islam to a certain extent, because you got brothers in Dubai that's doing way better than brothers in America, because we as blacks, they always give us the older version. So the white man is on iPhone 14, but he let you get the iPhone 1.
So
We
from a
13, listen, brother Chad. We 13 chapters of the Bible behind.
right.
If the Bible was an iPhone, the white man gonna give black people iPhone 1 and he got iPhone 14. The white
So
man, listen. The white man, if the Bible was a CD, the white man gonna give you we still got vinyl, and the white man got Apple Music,
Oh my
right?
God.
So what I'm saying is,
Where this guy from?
there has to be updates, and when you see them updates, brother Chad, I pray for God. I'm telling you, this is not the devil speaking. The devil's a liar. I rebuke him. I'm telling you, brother Chad, we gotta make updates, and we gotta use those updates to uplift our people, right? It's also in the Bible, asking it shall be given. But what are we asking for? Seeking ye shall find. But what are we seeking? Knock and it shall be open and answer to you. So we got to understand that the word of God has been strategically used, and we've been given old versions of this word. And other people and other cultures, brother Chad, they're benefiting because they got the updated version, and we still thinking in 1800. So that's all I'm saying,
so
and yeah.
so what I study, right? This started for me when I was about 13 years old. I got saved. Actually, I got saved when I was 12. Then I went astray. I did what I had to do, and then I kept coming back for moments here and there.
You got saved from what, brother Chad?
What do you mean? Just doing what the hell I want to do, drinking,
No,
smoking weed,
but
this,
brother
that,
Chad,
other sex,
people,
rolling.
but brother Chad, let me just play young man's advocate, right? Because I'm hoping that this people that watch this, they learn from this, because people gonna watch this and they're gonna learn from this, right? We gotta stop throwing around terms that seem so weird and like you losing me. Like if you say, yo, the blood of Jesus, I've been saved. What do you mean? So if listen what I'm saying.
All right, you need me to be more specific.
Because listen, no, not just specific, but we need proof. Yes, and we need proof of how your relationship with God is beneficial to you here right now. This is how the young people need to see it. Now don't tell me, listen, don't tell me if I'm Muslim, I'm gonna die broke and go to hell. Don't tell me if I'm Christian, don't tell me if I'm Christian that I gotta wait for some white man to come out the sky and my life is gonna be good. Because they've been telling that to our people for years. And meanwhile, there's white Christians that's creating generational wealth. Meanwhile, there's Indian Muslims that's creating generational wealth, and we sitting here being divided and conquered. Don't tell me that there's nowhere in the Bible that says I can't get money. Don't tell me that God wants me to be poor. Don't tell me that God wants me to keep acting like the police officer can kill me and get away with it. So this is what I need to hear. Where does the Bible cover being black in America? And if you lose me with that, then I ain't jacking it. But go ahead, brother Chad.
So you could start off with Deuteronomy And Deuteronomy basically describes how the Hebrew, the people of that time, would be transported by ship to a strange land their fathers never knew. Their name would become a byword. Are you familiar with this?
But brother Chad, listen.
Are you familiar with this?
We ain't on ships right now, brother Chad.
I get what you. Okay, so let me address where we first started off. The Bible. Hold up. Religion in the Bible is history to me. It's history. Matter of fact, I've even went into the Medu, which is an older form of what you would call an old Bible. From my understanding and where I'm at right now, the Bible doesn't change. God doesn't change. The meaning, you can interpret it as long as you stick to the tenets of the original story. You can make any type of change as far as ease of reading or something to that effect. In other words, you're saying it's a book that needs to be dated. I understand what you're saying, but in order to understand where we're at, you have to understand where we began. It has to be a beginning. You don't just jump straight into calculus without knowing 1 + 1.
But brother Chad, we got to understand relevancy, right? So, and we got to understand that this is not 1905. We got Google, we got the internet, we got YouTube. Young Christians and even young Muslims, they need to see some real benefits.
The benefits.
It needs to be what he's saying is it needs to be more.
Listen, let's start here, brother Chad, and I'm Muslim, brother Chad, and I'm Muslim, right? I'm Muslim, but let's just say focus on the Bible. Where does it talk about how to make money? Let's start there. Now, look, let me tell you something. What I do know about the Bible and even the Quran, man is supposed to be the provider, the protector, the maintainer of his household, right? So how does the man get his opportunity to provide? He gets it through provision. Okay? He gets it through provision.
You're asking me a question and you're answering it.
Listen what I'm saying. I'm giving you, I'm trying to change your outlook on things, brother Chad. What I'm saying is we have to look at the plight of our people and how can we use the word of God to immediately address the plight of our people. They talk about don't turn the other cheek. So don't give me no Negro spirituals when somebody gets shot. Okay? They talk about eye for eye. Don't give me no Negro spirituals when somebody try to take my eye out and you saying just give them a haircut. Okay? So we this is what we're dealing with. And what happens is not all churches, but most black churches in America is used as well as mosque and Muslims. Because when you go to Juma on Friday, you got church on Sunday, we got Juma on Friday. And when the imam is in a kook bar, I've sat in Juma and I'm looking at the imam. I'm waiting for him to address our issues. He's talking about, the prophet, may peace and blessing be upon him in this time. I'm like, yo, homie, I'm falling asleep. And you know why I'm falling asleep? Because you rocking me to sleep like a baby.
Okay. Okay, so let's address this.
Okay,
first,
brother Chad.
We did this on a couple shows back. Not certain. If you are 503c tax exempt unit, you cannot talk about certain
brother Chad information. Brother Chad. Yeah. So wait, hold on, brother Chad. Brother Chad, watch this, Jamal. So in the Bible, it says something about 503c.
No, you're missing what I'm saying. You're missing what I'm saying. It's a tax law. So that a lot of these churches.
Brother Chad, this is the point. This is why I said it has to be some upgrades made, because you can't at one moment want me to follow David and Goliath. We ain't using slingshots. We using switches and Glock 40s and Dracos, bro. Right?
Yeah, but the game hasn't changed.
Listen, ain't no Pharaoh, bro.
The game hasn't changed,
bro.
The Pharaoh today.
You come outside.
Since you mentioned that, what is the Washington Monument?
Brother Chad, now we're gonna go in circles, brother Chad.
Brother Chad, I'm asking you a question.
I don't want to answer that question, brother Chad.
What's the Washington Monument?
Brother Chad,
we're in New Egypt. If you look at the dollar bill, there's a pyramid on the dollar bill. Why? Because we're in New Egypt. The book is good. It's been written and it's going to happen, and it's happening again.
Brother Chad, how can I make money, brother Chad? Listen, how can I make money, brother Chad?
God tells you that when you do his tenets, when you follow his commands, the windows of heaven will open up to him, and you will have more bounty than you will be able to handle.
Brother Chad,
and I'm living it.
Brother Chad, brother Chad, only bounty I know is toilet tissue. Brother Chad, tell me exactly. See this, and I'm being kind of I'm being difficult, brother Chad, to make a point, right? What I'm saying is you need to tell me exactly before you talking about, yo, the Bible said honor thy mother. Okay, well, tell me in the Bible where it said you do this and you're gonna get this and you make money. Don't tell me the bounty of the heavens. That's why it has to be an upgrade.
It's
And
all over it.
Brother Chad, I'm gonna tell you what a rich Muslim dude told me, and he wasn't black. He said, and it opened my eyes. Also, a Jewish man said something similar. He said, he said they gave y'all the black version of the Bible. And in the black version of the Bible is poverty. They said we gave y'all the black version of the Quran. And in the black version of the Quran, you nigga Muslims ain't getting rich. We gonna be here getting all the money and the oil and all that. So what I'm trying to tell you, Brother Chad, we have to either make our own updates on this joint or figure out the true updates. Because the white man ain't following that Bible.
Do you read the Bible?
Huh?
Do you read the Bible? Do you read the Bible?
I stopped reading the Bible, Brother Chad.
Okay.
And you know why? Done that. And listen, you know why I stopped reading, Brother?
Been there, done that, right?
Brother Chad. The point I'm trying to make is when we use religion, and I believe in God, but when we say we're gonna follow this book, and nothing in this book is addressed my issues, we're gonna be hard pressed to get the people to follow it. So I believe it's also something called the Apocryphas, right, Brother Chad? And Martin Luther, not Martin Luther King, he was a German philosopher who found hidden parts of the Bible. So there's pieces of the Bible, Brother Chad, that's been
he started the Lutheran doctrine. And what the Lutheran doctrine like today is basically he was sitting there saying what you're saying, that when you go to a organized church, they don't talk about real stuff. They talk about surface to get that money.
Brother Chad,
I'll read myself.
So this is why Martin Luther was assassinated, Brother Chad, because he was against
the Catholic Church, because the Catholic Church was pimping. They were pimping.
So what I'm trying to tell you, Brother Chad,
right?
We have to. God is very simple. You cold, I'm gonna give you a jacket. It's raining, I'm gonna give you an umbrella. You hungry, I'm gonna give you food.
Thank you.
When you start talking all this, the bounties of the heaven and the rocks and the mountains, and let me tell you something, my Jesus, yo, fam, I don't want to hear that shit. I just need a phone. Listen.
You said these are called setup questions. Check this out.
But
what
Brother
I'm getting
Chad,
at is I didn't sit there and say, right. I didn't say I got a Rolex and this, that, and the third.
Brother
right?
Chad.
I didn't say I got all this wealth, but what I need, I have more than what I need. For my level where I'm at, I have more than what I need versus where I was at.
Brother Chad, my phone is dying. I just need a battery, man.
Okay.
That's it.
Hey, can I tell you something? This is a wonderful conversation.
However, the Bible will tell you, hold up, phone. Now I understand what you're saying. The Bible tells you that when you follow God's tenets, in other words, when I know them tenets,
Brother Chad.
Hold up, let me finish what I'm saying. The Bible will tell you, when you realize that those things won't destroy you, God only gives you what you can use. In other words, if I have a couple $1 million, I'm going to go buy a Porsche and I'm going to be dead by tomorrow. So I'm like Speed. God knows this.
Brother Chad.
Look, he reaches you at your level. If money and jewelry and stuff is going to corrupt you, you're not going to get it.
You could be corrupt. You could be corrupt with less.
Brother Chad, listen. Thank you, Jamal. Brother Chad, show me in the Bible. Show me in the Bible.
People can have corrupt hearts by that thought process. I ain't talking about nothing materialistic, with lust, lying, cheating, stealing, all those things like that.
Well, hold on, Brother Chad, show me in the Bible right now where it says iPhone.
Nowhere.
So again, show me in the Bible where it gives you a play-by-play on how to deal with lust coming from your phone.
I don't understand what you mean. Oh. Okay, so it basically says something to the effect of to deny yourself the desires of your flesh. It's a repetition of teaching you to sit there and don't be of the world, live in the world, but don't be of it. In other words, resist those things.
So you mean to tell me that's going you, Brother Chad?
Instead of OnlyFans, you would you could give a girl a goat and have sex. You feel me? So this is nothing new. It's just different. Like y'all got technology. Nothing's changed.
Brother Chad, it is
nothing's changed.
Listen, Brother Chad.
It's just updated to what it is now.
Brother Chad, listen what I'm trying to tell you.
What you're gonna say. Go ahead and say what you say.
Horse, car. Same analogy.
I need him to go ahead and say what you're gonna say, man. Go ahead.
Thank you. Listen, let me say this last thing if I get up out of here. I'm gonna get up out of this. Brother Chad, this is what the slave masters conditioned and indoctrinated our people to believe that it didn't change. It did change. A horse and a car is two
What
different
didn't
things.
change? Oh,
Chad,
okay.
listen what I'm saying, brother Chad.
Right.
A horse and a car is two different things, brother Chad.
Just an analogy. They didn't
brother
have
Chad,
cars then. Right.
Brother Chad, I get that you're conditioned, but listen, a horse and a car is two different things. If you're in a horse, right, and I'm in a Ferrari, I'm gonna go faster than you, Chad.
Why do I have to go faster?
Brother Chad.
Relative to what was going on at that, no. Relative to what was going on at that time, you didn't need a Ferrari.
Brother Chad.
Because there were no roads.
Brother Chad, listen to what I'm saying.
Right.
If you're on a horse and I'm in a Ferrari, it's different speed, brother Chad.
I get it.
Listen what I'm saying. It's gonna make sense if you listen. It's a different skill set to ride a horse than it is to ride a Ferrari, brother Chad.
Right.
Shooting rocks at a target from a slingshot, brother Chad, is different from shooting hollow points out of a gun.
I get all that.
Listen what I'm saying. Right? Trading goat and trading dollars is two different things, brother Chad. Right?
That was the currency of the time.
So listen, what I'm saying, because you could agreeing with me, not even realizing it. What I'm trying to tell you is, brother Chad, is we have to understand how to update the information, because if we don't update the information, the information is going to be irrelevant. And the problem with this conversation, brother Chad, is we cannot deny the lack of Black generational wealth in this day and time. We cannot deny the fact that we're dying the most, brother Chad.
Read Deuteronomy.
It'll
explain it.
Listen, brother Chad, respectfully, that shit is irrelevant. And until we start as a collective and I'm talking about Christians and Muslims, whether you Christian, listen, a police officer is not going to say, oh, he's a Christian, shoot him in the knee. He's Muslim, shoot him in the head. He's going to say,
it's also not a reset button on history.
But see,
what's happened happened.
Chad, you're not
I'm talking about rational versus I'm talking about tangible versus semantics.
This is what he's saying. That's why she had that community church, because of this kind of conversation.
It's a disconnect.
This is why she had the community church, because we as people, Nat Turner was a preacher, and he took them all around all the places to make us niggas sit down through that Bible, through the Negro Bible that was redacted and redone over during slavery. And there was a lot of other preachers they did it with. But what he's saying in 2022, right now, today, that we need to change with the times, even with the Quran, the Bible, the Torah, and all these books that man.
I'm hearing updated version. I'm just hearing
man put his footprint in. Man put his footprint in all them books.
Exactly. I'm just hearing updated version. Okay. So you can go to the Guggenheim Bible.
That's why she had
Guggenheim Bible.
Brother Chad. That's why she had all that book knowledge, brother Chad. Listen, brother Chad. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you some real shit, right? And you might not. We might have different paths, right? But for me, my focus is uplifting Black people. So I got to know how to talk to my people. And if Jesus was alive right now, he would know how to talk to people. And you seem, brother Chad, you seem very knowledgeable. You seem like an avid reader. I read a lot of books too, but that shit don't mean nothing. And what we got to realize is, okay, and I love what Lady J said about having a community church. You got to go to the people. You got to be amongst the people. Because once you're amongst the people, you know what the people dealing with.
That's what we're doing now.
You can't use a book. You can't use a book that was created outside of the times of the people. Because that little girl, listen, that little girl right now who has an iPhone in her hand all day, she not that book she ain't gonna respect. But she will respect somebody who cares and loves her that's with her. So if we hope as Black people, and this is a young Black brother telling you, and I'm a special one, brother Chad. God got his hand on me, brother Chad. I'm telling you. We have to understand, like, before we got to be with the people. We got to be of the people. It's easy. It's easy to
Lady J, you hear that?
Look, brother Chad, you can go on YouTube and type "smart guy gives away sneakers," and you can see me giving away sneakers in my hood. And by me being in my hood and walking with my people, I know how to talk to my people. I know how to communicate with my people. I know it's a language thing, bro. The disconnect got nothing to do with age.
Right,
It has everything to do with time, and time invested and time spent. Okay? So, Brother Chad, I got a lot of love for you and a lot of respect for you. So I hope you didn't feel like I was trying to disrespect you, but I was
No,
just
I
trying to
mean,
say,
You said smart guy what?
oh,
I'm
go
all.
on YouTube. Go,
Smart guy what?
Type in American Fortune, because I'm gonna go right to my YouTube channel, make it easy for you.
Oh, wait a
Type in
minute.
American Fortune, and I want you to show it on the screen.
American Fortune.
This is
American
what it's
Fortune.
about for me.
Hold up. Go what?
Type in American Fortune. American Fortune
Go ahead.
in YouTube, because that's my YouTube channel.
I have a show that comes on tomorrow at 8. I do this show called Empathic Perspectives, Pathways to Change. And this is all I'm talking about. And what you're doing is you're giving me information so that I can understand or better help me understand how our young people are actually feeling out there, younger people of what the challenges they're facing and the understandings they have. So this helps me in a tremendous amount talking to somebody.
Jamal, you see it, Jamal?
I see it.
For the most part, I don't get to talk to young people, on topics like this. It's high fluff.
But Jamal, I mean, Brother Chad, this is beautiful. That's why I said this conversation is so beautiful, because you get in a perspective. I'm the bridge. I'm the Tupac. I'm the Tupac of this generation, but I ain't gonna get killed in the car. I'm living. I'm gonna live. So what I'm trying to tell you is, we have to challenge what was conditioned and given to us.
That's a money goal.
So I went into the metanetta. Are you familiar with the metanetta?
Of course, but what I'm saying is,
so after I started digging through the metanetta, it brought me back to Christianity, because the stories are so similar. Meaning, I understand that some of the characters' names have been changed, but the tenet is generally true.
But listen, if a man is hungry and he wants some food, does he care if he got the burger from a Christian or a Muslim?
No, I mean, the Bible says that. That's a biblical verse, right?
But listen, what I'm saying.
It says, feed the man before you start talking about God, because all he want to do is feed his stomach.
Right. So if I know this, I'm giving you scripture. So we have to stop throwing around titles and labels, and it starts with the work. That's why I said it starts with walking with the people. You gotta feed the people first. You're not only feeding their belly, but you feeding their minds.
See that?
So this is called what we call witnessing.
You see this right here?
No.
That's on your brother Chad. I'm in the trenches doing that too.
In the trenches.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, you gotta walk
by yourself.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, 1,000,000%. But what I'm saying is, you gotta, we gotta feed the people first.
Yeah.
Let's feed our people first.
Yeah. Don't get it wrong. I don't live in the woods. I was in Dukeland Avenue yesterday, so I'm in the hood. I'm just not there all the time.
No, I got you. But
and wherever I go, I witness. Is somebody like this, like what we're doing now? I tell you what I learned. You don't have to agree, but this is where I'm at. At one time, like in my life, like I told you, me and my mother, we go through it now. But how I was at 30 is not how I'm going to be at 50.
But
so
brother Chad, you said how old are you?
I'm 52.
So let me ask you a question. Who you think is more important to reach the youth, me or you?
You.
Both.
At the same time, I would try to understand what I'm saying real quick.
Both.
Listen.
Both.
Okay, but you're asking it for me. So it depends on the person. Like me, one person can't talk to me and get me converted to nothing.
Yeah. You see that?
It's those little pieces that you
Chad,
get.
Show Jamal. Brother Chad, you see that? I ain't just talking. I'm about to ask.
Right, I'm gonna watch it when we get off of here. I'm gonna definitely watch it when we get off here.
LadyJ up in Harlem, you heard me.
But it's about all of those little pieces that whoever, it could have been the young dude, it could have been the old dude. They give me these little pieces along my journey that get me to where I'm at now. So, as a spokesperson, or depending upon the format, I would definitely say you. At the same time, depending upon that individual, they may need to hear it from somebody else or somebody different.
Right. But
like even on my show, I'm not for everybody. I know this.
Young men for war, old men for counsel.
That's what he don't know. He don't know in the world y'all come from, y'all the shooter and the driver. Yeah, that's what they doing on there. They the shooter and the driver.
But brother Chad, but right. Again, I think this was conversation is so beautiful, and especially what Lady J is doing with the community churches.
I didn't mean put you out there like that. I just
Lady
said
J,
that. You know
I want to say this too, right? With the community churches, right?
Mm-hmm.
The black church needs to take on almost like an angel investment kind of a thing, mobilizing our disposable income, because our disposable income is the key to increasing our wealth in the community. That's what the collection plate was supposed to be. Now, what happens is it gets lost in the sauce. So now imagine if we have a collection plate and the money from the collection plate is going into investment portfolios, and the profits from those investment portfolios goes back to the hood. So an example of that is this: you go to church on Sunday and we says, okay, I'm Pastor Smart. Good evening, good morning, everybody. You guys are going to church. How you doing? Blood of Jesus. Wow. Well, listen now. But today God has told me this. God has touched me to tell me this. I want everybody in the church right now. Who in the church right now know how to do electricity? Raise your hand. Amen. Amen. They raise their hand, right? Who in the church right now know how to paint and do construction, brick and mortar? Oh, raise your hand. Oh, amen. Mm-hmm. Okay, Brother Tom and Brother Jamal, I want you guys to work together, because this Sunday, everybody right now, Jesus has told me, I want everybody right now to put $100 in the collection plate. If you can do it, say amen. 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 Now you do that for 2 Sundays. And then now you take that money that you got from the people donating out of good faith, and you purchase a grocery store. Mm-hmm. Right? And you take that money you got from the grocery store, and then you build that grocery store, because we need institutions, right? We need our own grocery stores, our own supermarkets, our own hospitals, our own banks. And you taking the money that people want to give because the word of God has inspired them to give, and you take that money and you reinvest back in the community, and you see the actual tangible results of your money put in that collection plate. Okay? Right. Religion should be used to grow community. Religion should be used to revitalize community. Religion shouldn't just be used to uplift your spirit. You uplift my spirit, but you're gonna uplift my bank account, because we gotta eat. And Jesus ate. Okay, it was a Last Supper. So if it was a Last Supper, it was a supper. It wasn't eating rocks and pages from the Bible. Okay, right. So what I'm saying is I need to see instant gratification. We've been waiting.
Or some kind of gratification, not instant. But
no, I want it instant, Jamal.
Why you want instant? Why you want instant gratification,
Brother Jamal? When I finish this right now, if I'm thirsty right now, can I go in the store and get some water?
Yeah.
You drinking something, ain't you?
Yeah.
All right then, right? So what I'm saying is, and that's why I said God is so simple. Man has made God complicated because man has manipulated the word of God to benefit his own personal endeavors. So when we talk about community churches and this new approach to Christianity, there needs to be some immediate changes, because we've been hearing it since Martin Luther King took a bullet in his skull.
Yeah, I mean, I could agree with you on that, because that's why I don't go to, like, when I go hit the church and he start talking like you were sitting there talking, I'm out, because I already know that it's a show. So church for me is me reading and talking to this. This is church for me.
Absolutely. When I talk to people, I said we need institutions. Right. We need institutions. A community has a couple things that makes it a community. Institutions. So you got to have your own bank, your own food, your own hospital, okay, your own security, right? So why are we not using the church? Why are we not using the church to create these institutions that really build community? Because
the pastor needs 2 jets.
No, because what happens is we forgot our original teachings, and what Brother Jamal talked about. Nat Turner was a preacher. When you hear Nat Turner, you don't. Why you think the white man, when you talk about Nat Turner, he don't let you know that he was a preacher? And what was he preaching? He was preaching the word of God to his people. So Nat Turner was eye for an eye. Yeah, we're gonna highlight that. Yeah. We're gonna highlight that, because you ain't gonna just hang me from a tree and think I'm gonna watch you murder my son and I'm gonna serve you dinner tonight.
Yeah.
So
right. So that passive. Now I heard you mention that real quick. the passive aspect of what the Bible teaches you to just be just let people bang you upside the head. That's not how I'm built. That's
no, but brother
that's
Chad,
not,
Chad, where did that come from, no, brother Chad? It's also this poverty.
New Testament.
The black woman needs the black man. So how many black women, and LadyJ can speak on this, how many black women go to church and you didn't heard, oh, Jesus is my husband? Jesus ain't your husband. Okay? Why you think they brainwash black women? Because what they do is they remove the man away from the woman, and she gives all her money to the church. Jesus. And meanwhile, the pastor banging everybody.
Right. And need a Bentley.
Last night, didn't we, Jamal? We were talking about that last night on the show.
Yes, we was.
Jesus is your husband, and you got a beautiful black man. You got a beautiful black man right here in front of you. You talking about Jesus is coming. Jesus is my husband. What? Where that came from?
Women, like I said on the show last night, as black women since slavery, we've been taught how to disrespect the black man, and so disrespect him to the people. At this point in time, you don't even need a man to make a baby. You just go to the sperm bank. So doing artificial insemination. It's just like we've been taught so much, and we have this slave mentality when it comes to our men. That's why on this platform, you can't disrespect black men on this platform. I'm not gonna let that happen.
That's right. And see, you may not need a man to make a baby, but you need a man to build community.
Exactly.
You may not need a man to pay your bills, but you need a man to build community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why we don't have no communities around the world, right? Because it's not the black woman's fault. It's not the black man's fault. But we have to understand that it's an agenda, and we understand how religion is used. We stop repeating like a parrot what the white man told us to say. Because show me a picture of Jesus. Show me a picture of Jesus. Show me a text message you got from Jesus that told you I should be this way. Right? So, and I'm saying that to say this. It got to be some updates made, brother Chad. And I think, Lady J, I feel your spirit. I really believe that you're on the right path with this new approach. And I really thank you for giving me this audience and letting me vent a little bit and share some ideas I have with you. Because
absolutely. I hope that you come back on again. I hope you come back on again. The platform is always open to you whenever you want to come on. I got some new stuff that I'm going to be doing next year. I can't talk about it right now because people hate out here. But I got some stuff that you were talking about. That's why I was so quiet. I was like,
so this is one of the things that they don't talk about when you go to church, what I was talking about in Deuteronomy, where it sits there and kind of foretells you why, one, the African-American is here in America and who the African-American is, meaning to me, that would be the Hebrew, not Hebrew Israelite, but that would be the original Hebrew person. If you look at some of the ship manifests from some of those voyages that came here to America, it will actually say the word Hebrew on the ship manifest. In other words, we were shipped here. So for me, it's a living word. It doesn't change. Now we can update it. I can understand it to try to, I guess I'm almost looking at it like a language to speak to younger generations because they don't want to hear what's going on already. Well, so right. I understand and get that aspect too.
So brother Chad,
you can't say that. You can't.
What's that?
That's you can't say that.
What's that?
They hear you if you speak their language.
Who? Oh,
you got to speak their language.
I don't know the language.
The language is this, brother Chad. Brother Chad, this is the language, brother Chad. Okay, you want to know the language, brother Chad?
Yeah.
When it's raining, give me an umbrella. When it's cold, give me a jacket. When I'm hungry, give me some food. When I'm broke, give me some fucking money or give me a way to make money.
It's very simple.
All right.
Simple. That's the language.
Talking and the slave ship and all these.
When you start talking this shit, you gotta lead by example, brother Chad. This is the language of young people nowadays. Look, listen, ain't nobody trying to hear that extra shit, man. I'm cold. Give me some warm. That's it. My iPhone about to die. Do you have a charger? No. Get the fuck out my face.
All right.
Listen. I'm driving this car. My car needs some gas. You got gas money you chipping in? No. Get the fuck out my face.
Right.
I don't care if you Muslim. I don't care if you Christian. I don't get the fuck out my face. You're not helping make my situation better. Get the fuck out my face. And you know what's so listen, you know what's so crazy about this young generation? They getting their shit together, whether you like it or not. They trying to figure it out.
Yep.
So don't tell me, because don't tell me soda ain't no good. Well, I've been living off soda, nigga.
And they ain't dealing with their old dolphin.
I'm laughing.
Parents and grandparents and stuff. Don't nobody want to hear all that mess, man.
Yeah, I'm laughing. He reminds me of my son so much, and my son is the same way. My son is like, he not about a whole lot of conversation. It's like it's either yes or no or get on my face. You know, he ain't about all of that talking and reading this and reading that. And for me, I'm the same way. Like I'm not gonna sit. I'll get quiet. I ain't gonna a conversation about stuff. You know, just let me know what it is so we can keep it moving. You know, I ain't got all of that. But Smart, thank you so much. Hey, Smart, that chicken looks really good that you eating. I'm telling you.
You know they call that down the country, right? Barnyard pimp. They ain't got no barnyard pimp in Harlem. You sure?
I'm about to get to it. So I give a phone with y'all. Listen, Jamal, man, I appreciate you, man. Listen,
I gotta tell Lady J how I met your manager in Times Square. We videotaped. We was having a party over there.
Yo, look.
That's how this happened.
Let me tell you about my manager though. Look, tell me about my manager. We both was selling drugs. We was getting money, right? And my manager way older than me. I said, yo, bro, I got an idea. He said, what? I said, yo, we're gonna sell these CDs, man. He like, sell CDs? I'm like, yeah, we're gonna sell these CDs, man. Fuck that. And I kept it so simple. And he didn't care about he was older than me. This is why my manager's so special. I love him to death, man. He understands the language. And the language is, yo, whatever we dealing with, let's deal with it right now. We ain't trying to talk. You want to read this book? I ain't reading no book, bro.
Somewhere selling CDs, and I seen them said, "This got to be some old school crap, right? This is crazy." The dude in Times Square with a rack of CDs by himself, collecting money. I said, "You got to have some goons around him." This dude was by himself. We talked for 20 minutes. I got the whole videotape. I said, "How did you end up over here?" Because I'm nosy as hell. I'm like, what the hell is this nigga doing selling CDs? He the only one in Times Square selling CDs. Where did he do that at? And that's how we connected.
Mark, thank you so much. I'm sorry.
When is your boxing match?
What's your manager name?
Oh, Dev Jeter.
Okay.
That's my brother. Listen, that's my brother. He older than me. And I listen to him. You know what I mean? You know? But he understands the language. You know what I'm saying? So I'm fighting in June. But keep in touch. My Instagram is _. You know. Lady J, I'm definitely interested in doing some community work with you too as well. I got a big coat drive coming up.
Okay. Yeah, we have to talk. I can't tell you online.
You have a coat drive coming up when? You heard him, Lady J?
I heard him.
Where?
It's gonna be in front of Apollo.
When?
So the coat drive is gonna be right after Valentine's. So
we're gonna come see you.
Oh, because I'm gonna be up there for
You go get a nice jacket too. You pull up.
Oh yeah, I'm coming up. I'll be up there.
Yeah, we giving out coats. We giving out some we ain't giving out no bullshit. Like we ain't, you know what I mean? For the people, I did a food drive. And and I'm saying this not to get no credit. I'm just saying it because this is what I want all older people to start learning how to do. Instead of judging people and telling people what they can't do and all that other shit, how about you put some money in my pocket before you tell me what I can't do?
Tomorrow.
Cause the brother that told me to honor my mother ain't buy the sticker for me, you heard?
I bought a CD from him. I didn't even know who you was.
Hey, brother Chad, that's why I respect you, brother Chad. You put a couple dollars in my pocket, brother Chad. You an OG for real.
Jamal bought the CD.
Say it again.
I mean Jamal. Jamal, you an OG for real, Jamal.
Do you have a CD?
Yeah, I got a CD. You mean I got a CD?
I mean, you told me about you perform. So, can you plug your music?
Brother Jamal, I'm already famous, brother Chad. They know who I am, brother Chad.
Okay, dig it.
Brother Chad,
When you go on YouTube, just type in the smart guy _.
I'm gonna check it out when we get off of here. I gotta go say hi to the wife and the babies.
Go get some chicken right now because he tearing that chicken up.
I'm out of here. Yeah. I'm going later, y'all.
All right, thank you. It was a pleasure, and thank you for being candid. Thanks for being open.
Baltimore, Maryland, all day long in New York City.
Yo, Jamal, listen, Jamal, I got a lot of respect for you, brother Jamal. Yo, see, let me tell you something. Let this be a lesson to you old niggas. Be like Jamal. Be like Jamal. Jamal, listen, man. Jamal done broke bread. Invited me on this. Nah, Jamal, you a real one, Jamal.
Thank you.
That's my brother. He is.
He's solid. He's solid.
Yeah, we locked in. You know what locked in mean, right?
No doubt. Yo, Slim. I see you soon, Slim. Hey, Slim.
Oh man,
that's Jamal. Hey, Jamal, we got to go up there.
We're going up there because check this out. I'm glad it happened the way it happened. Everybody it's a lot. And that thing, remember when you was talking, I'm looking at you like,
it don't even matter. Listen, because y'all know we talk. I can't say it on air, but you know what we got is getting ready to go on. And then something else happened today that I haven't even told y'all about. So that's why when he was talking, that's why the whole time I was sitting just like this. Because that young man, I'm gonna talk to him. I got his phone number.
Okay, what do you feel? Come on with it.
He's a platform. I told him that on the show. He needed if he don't already have one. I don't know shit. Okay, dig it.
Yeah. He's a millionaire.
I got something. He is.
He's a millionaire.
Dig it.
I spent $20 on a CD I ain't listening to yet. I don't even know nothing on the damn thing. Shit.
He's 28 years old, a millionaire. I found that out while y'all was doing the show. Mm-hmm. But anyway, this is what I wanted to say about everything. Because he touched on Jamal. No, before I even do that, Jamal, can you explain something to me? Because I really want to make sure that I understand. Because I don't delve into a lot of studying religions and stuff like that. But you being Muslim, because I know you grew up in the schools. Do y'all read the Bible and the Quran, or is it you read both?
Both.
See, I didn't know that.
No, you read the Bible, the Quran, and the Torah. A lot of stuff that I know I don't talk about it because I don't want to get in debates.
No, I'm doing my own education because I didn't know that. So
check this out.
Is it one that stands out more than like the other one?
No.
So y'all,
is it a comparison?
Right. Yeah.
You're educated. You're educated. We went to school 6 days a week. You graduate out of Muslim school in the 10th grade. You don't go to the 12th.
So, but all of those things, I'm asking you because all of those things have different beliefs in them. So how are you all taught like what to
being universal? It's universal. It's not one dimensional. It's universal. Just like I could talk to a Jehovah's Witness. I could talk to a Presbyterian. I could talk to anybody if I wanted to. I know how to do it.
You understand what I'm saying, Chad? Like what?
I understand what you're saying.
Each one has its core beliefs. What is the core belief of a Muslim?
Right.
The first thing is love. And then that stuff he talking, she should have had her head cut off. But I can't have that conversation with you. What you did him, where we come from, you get your head cut off of that.
What?
Gone.
What are you talking about?
What you did to your son? Are you serious?
The boy's
son.
Okay. I mean,
forgiveness will be in it. I can send you a picture, but I'm not going to do it. Or what do you do to rapists in Saudi Arabia and Yemen and stuff like that? You cut that.
I already know. Yeah.
You have rapists in jail overseas? I mean, gasoline. Not like that. You know what I mean?
Put a tie over top of them and set them on fire.
In 2022, they cut their heads off.
The reason I was asking you too is because, so me being a Christian, like mine is, I guess, I'm a Christian and you're Muslim, but I believe in Jesus. And so do y'all believe in Jesus and
Allah? Did you look at Martin Luther King when he had a dream speech? Every nationality was on that stage. You see, him Hindus, Jews, everybody was on the stage. It's universal. But man, don't look at it like that. Even though we believe in Allah as God, Allah Akbar, and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But I don't, trying to get you to understand my thought process when it comes to religion is like we have to have a whole nother conversation we have a face.
And your religion, I'm trying to.
I know I'm going to die. We are taught that we're going to die.
I'm trying to be educated on the Muslim faith because I don't fully understand it. And so when you say, like for me, being Christian, I just say, okay, I read the Bible. I don't read the Torah or the Quran or the what's some other people, they got their Bible. I don't read all of them. I just read like the Bible. So that's where I'm confused at, because I'm like, I know y'all pray to Allah, but do y'all believe in God, or is it just? So you believe in God and Allah?
Yes.
No.
Do you believe in Jesus?
Allah is God. Allah
is God.
That's Jesus and
him
Jesus.
right here.
Like, where that voice come
Jesus,
from?
hey, how you doing?
Sit right there.
No, Allah is God, and Jesus. Jesus was a prophet in the Bible.
To a Muslim, who was Jesus? A prophet?
A prophet in the Quran, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, God. Okay.
So does the Muslim faith follow the New Testament?
No, they follow the Quran.
There's the disconnect, because when you keep reading on, when you read the New Testament,
right.
When you read the New Deal, a lot of the things that Smart was talking about are kind of broken down. It's kind of explained.
Yeah. And I was listening to what you said. It is all analogy. All of it's analogy. Like, we might not have a horse or now because we're living in Ferrari times, but it's the same damn concept.
It was set up questions. I get it.
Yeah.
Right.
I was just, thank you for explaining that, because I always wanted to understand, like, what, like,
in Islam, it's more about purity. And real Muslims, because I'm from Philly, I know some real Muslims. I'm talking about they pray 5 times a day. They got prostrations on their head. They got beards like me and my brother Chad. I mean, they got more like brother Chad. You know what I mean? But
they got me beat. They got should be down here.
And listen, they're real pure. They wash their hands. They always smell good. They're real heavy on hygiene. Real Muslims. Because I know Muslims that's not on their deen, and it's not for me to judge or nothing like that. I'm just saying, when somebody's on their deen, they really, there's no violence. They don't even curse. Real Muslims won't. I mean, much respect to our brother who was just speaking, but they won't even swear. They don't do none of that. Don't speak violently, none of that. They'll sit and listen and really have to listen. Like, becoming wise to them is very important, and living very pure is very important to them.
Yeah,
I mean, I knew shit was bad, but I've been disconnected since I've been married, and I've been married for shit. This is my second marriage. Once I got married, all that street shit was done with me. So I'm disconnected. I don't know. I didn't realize shit was that bad. I can hear it. But
it is that bad. Yeah, it is that bad. But
I'm there, but
put it like this. But there's some of us that still know that real that I was saying, that you were saying earlier, when you feel the real. I'm not saying my guy was wrong. I'm not saying he was wrong, but I'm just saying, in my opinion, and Jamal, you gotta tell me how you feel about this too. Like,
the takeaway for me was they don't stand for too much or nothing. It's give me what I need and that's it.
That's how it is.
Well,
that's bad.
It hasn't changed from back in the day. It's just more up on Front Street now.
And they because see, we were taught to be respectful, and now
yes,
we didn't say anything.
LadyJ, it's a whole
problem. This generation doesn't hold anything back. And like he said, I want it now. And if you ain't gonna give it to me, I'm gonna go get it. That's
what it is now is there is no honor left. There is no principles left. There is no the streets that he's in right now. If he's still in the streets, because I'm not all the way out, but I'm in the streets, but I ain't in the streets. If you feel what I'm saying,
yeah.
You know what I mean. because
I'm not even there.
I guess I'm younger, so I'm still in the way, but I'm not in the way. I don't do nothing illegal, but I still know people who do all that nonsense. And the real people that come from the generation before you guys' generation of where the streets was a place of principle still, a place of honor, a place of loyalty, respect, where you could do your dirt but still be respected. All that stuff's out the window now. That's what it is now. Now it is just, I got the bigger say and stuff. I got the bigger nuts, excuse my language. But that's what it is now out there. There's no food chain on nothing no more. It's just take on this, on that. And it's like that. And that's why the streets is over, man. When this generation, when you guys' generation passed, and the last bit that what I learned from you guys' generation and people in my generation that's has the roots of any reality left, like, you know, respect, honor, principles of life, not even stuff that's in both the Bible and the Quran, stuff that's in both the positive side of things.
Right.
That stuff is going out the window in today's modern society, no matter which way you want to look at it, whether it's religion or what. And if you ask me, all that stuff, we were all brainwashed, religion and food health wise. The truth is, if you would agree with me, there's right, there's wrong, there's good, there's bad, there's doing the right thing, the wrong thing. God and the devil. And for anyone that doesn't believe in that, it's just you could tell the difference. There's a feeling you get is real when you feel of positivity and negativity, regardless of religion or not. You could tell. And if you believe in God, then you could tell that godly type energy, like when you see somebody you love or when you get a hug or a feel. And whenever you're around family members who are living, drinking, lying, stealing, family members, or just people you don't know, anybody with that juju negative energy on them, you could tell the difference. And that's the thing. Some people know the way and it's helped them become very successful, but they're not all the way pure yet because they're maturing. And that's all of us. That's everybody. You can't put an age on that because some people don't curse at all. And some people curse as soon as they wake up. I've been both, you know? So it's just a part of maturity in different areas. And sometimes we fluctuate in each.
Right. And it was an eye-opener for me. I didn't know shit was like it is like that.
It is.
You hear it. We talk about it all the time. We discuss it all the time. But to actually be one-on-one with somebody that's living it, and like he described it as a bridge, I'm showing you what it's like out there. At the same time, he had to, you know, from the previous show, it was like, I picked up on all that, right? But it's an eye-opener, man. Shit is so far to the left. For me, it's because of a pull away from God. Now, the church system right now, I can see that to being an end product because it's shit. It's a shit show. But for me, I'm sorry. If you don't know your history, you don't know shit. You gotta know where you're coming from in order to know where you're going. You gotta know how this shit unfolded. If you give it enough time to see how it's unfolding, you can see all this shit that's going on right now. You can see why people are like that. Because I've already read it. I already know why people are like that. Yeah. Even though I'm not face to face with them to feel it and hold it, you know. But it's not so much of an animosity of a thing between young and old on my issue, on my stance, because I don't look at people like that. I know I can get wisdom from anywhere, from a bum.
Yes.
I got a 3-year-old who sits there and tells me shit, and I'm like, damn. So I get that.
That's God. That's
on a
God.
whole, right. On a whole, you know, it's become a us them shit. Like, and this is where you got to take that next step in your evolutionary maturity. It's not about young versus old, gay versus straight, black versus white. It's about, is your ass connected with God or not? Because when you're connected with God, all that other shit is whatever.
It doesn't matter. Right. It doesn't matter.
She was going to say something. What was you going to say?
This is the thing, right? They don't care. All of what you just
Just
said,
told them that they don't care.
Some.
and I understand what you're saying, but
No,
if
that's
we
not true.
if we
That's
sat
not true.
Well, this is the thing.
if we sat down and tried to have a conversation, I'm gonna tell you, my son is 26.
Yeah.
Now, old as I am, the people that hang around me are his friends. They love hanging around me for some reason, and I think it's because I listen. And the thing that I've learned with them is you gotta talk fast. You gotta say what you gotta say. Get to the point. And it's very few words. If I sat down and I said all of what I really wanted to say, like you just said it, I would lose them. And so
that's just.
But listen.
I'm sorry, Dr. J, but I understand the mentality because you used to see me online for some crack, doing some crazy ass shit to get some dope. All of us ain't on that level. You feel me? All of us ain't. I'm not your fucking uncle. You feel me? I'm some other nigga that might see it. That might, instead of you getting straight up on the fucking, come on, you don't even need to go through all that.
Right.
But it's, I mean,
but I
it's
think
a disconnect.
And this is why I jumped on when the conversation was going on Jamal's show, because I saw right away that they were triggering each other.
It was getting ready to be just an argument, right?
Yeah.
Young man was if that young man, I believe exactly what he said. Had he been in Baltimore City, he would have found out where that man was at to go find him.
I didn't even hear that, but I already saw that.
You know,
okay.
I jumped on and I said, we gotta understand the generation that we're talking to. The generation we're talking to right now, when we was growing up, it was a code on the street. You don't kill grandmothers. You don't kill babies.
That's
if
all
you see
gone.
walk with her baby and she the target, you don't get it till the baby is out of her arm. It was different codes on the street. It ain't no code on the street right now. They will blow your head off with the baby in your arm. Word. People will walk up to you and kill your grandmother if they can't get to you.
It's become that.
And
now.
so it's no code. And that's why I keep telling people, be careful how you talk to people, because we're in, and this is with people our age too. People are so are so stressed right now that the least little thing you say to them can trigger them to blow your head off.
Yeah,
and if I had someone who called me a few months ago, didn't know who he was, somebody gave him my number. He called me. He said, I've been trying to call you since 7 o'clock this morning. I said, oh, who is this? I'm sleeping. And by the time it's like 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm stretched out on the sofa. He said, all I'm going to say is this. I'm going through something, and you the last person that I could call. Somebody told me to call and talk to you. Now, if I can't get you, the first person, when I open up this door, I'm going to blow their head off. That's what he told me on the phone. And while he was talking to me, the police was standing with him because he couldn't get me on the phone. He had called the police. They told the police, this is what I'm getting ready to do. So then I had to talk to the police and say, you know, I got this. I'm going to talk to him. And the thing that I said to this man was, listen, you know, because you always got to ask, like, what's going on? What's the problem? When he told me what the problem was, it was something that stemmed from his childhood. He's about 40 years old. So it's something that happened in your childhood that's been messing with you so much. And he said the pandemic really messed him up because it gave him more time to think about this thing over and over again. He was just at a point like, you know what? The next person I see, I'm going to blow their head off for what me in my childhood. And that's why I be telling people, be careful what you say and how you say. If somebody tell you to stop talking, or they say, leave it alone, close your mouth up. Leave it alone.
That was one of my points. And, you know, from learning from the information I'm gathering, it seems like a big part of this, what we talked about in previous shows, is because we don't have because of dysfunctional family. You know, it's nobody there to give you strategy of how to cope. So we talk about Wild West methods. We're talking about me at 15. We talk about everybody running around here like me at 15. I'm 52. You feel me? So if you keep going in that direction, or basically, fuck it, let's just be ignorant. Where the fuck you going to want? You're not going to make it to 52.
Do that because it's so many of them. I could take you to North Philly and 26 in Montgomery. Let me tell you this. Go to North Philly and 26 in Montgomery. Check this out. Where the parents at? They out there selling crack, dope, guns. The police don't even come in the neighborhood. I told her another day, I'm gonna with the dude up. I said, yo, we went to the store to get a cheesesteak. I gotta get up out of here because that was crazy.
We're in the times where we gotta know who's real. We gotta learn who's with it and who's not with it, and squad up and be ready because we don't got time to save everybody anymore, man. Everybody's lost now, and I'm not saying don't continue doing what you guys are doing and try and help the youth out of anywhere. You can always help and try and help anybody and everybody. I'm just saying we got to notice when some people might be too far gone to even attempt to try and save or to try and even rock with.
Oh, so it's not about, like I said, you're not going to sit there and talk to somebody in a conversation and convert. Well, I don't try to even convert. I give you information and you do what the hell you want to with it, you know, and hopefully it'll benefit you and hopefully you'll give me something that I can benefit as well. But it's not about, you know, I'm not Baltimore City churches. You feel me? I don't go to churches because of what he was talking about, right? And what I see, I got to find like a little small church where people's for real or I don't even, you know, I can't do it.
And it's not that we believe every single thing written in the Bible. We know it was a book written by men. There's only men on this planet. God isn't on this planet unless he's within people and his energy, I'm guessing. You know what I'm trying to say? You know, God is on this planet, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like we can't physically see him, walk and talk with him unless he's communicating with us through him, his best ability.
Right.
Damn, I lost my train of thought.
You've been shitted on by people that's supposed to help you. You go to the church, you desperate, you go to the church, they fuck you over. I get it. You feel me?
Well,
they don't help you.
What I was trying to say is like the books, like they have things that are real in them that we can relate to, like Bible stories you can relate to, like, you know, thou shalt not kill. We can relate to, I don't want to hurt nobody. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. The Quran, I'm sure, speaks of like purity and stuff like that. Like, it's good to be pure. It's good to love your neighbor and stuff like that. Like, anybody in the world, no matter what religion, can all agree on that kind of stuff.
Right. Well, I just like the temperature.
The thing, the pandemic, right? A lot of people were dealing with pain before the pandemic, but they learned how to suppress their pain and they learned how to, you know, deal with their pain by working 2 jobs, or they did this, or maybe you go work it out at the gym, or you go do something. You learn how to suppress that pain, and you come back and you're done. You think you're done. You didn't let it go. When the pandemic came along and we were trapped in our houses for two years, couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything, a lot of people broke down because all of that stuff that you thought you had suppressed started coming forward. And people started killing themselves. You started seeing more mass suicides with families. You saw abuse on the rise. You saw people losing it, divorce, because people, we were,
people don't got God.
But we learned how to just suppress everything, keep it moving, act like everything is good. The pandemic exposed a lot of stuff. The pandemic even exposed these churches and these pastors out here. And so now, post-pandemic, a lot of people, their mental state ain't where it's supposed to be. And so you're dealing with a lot of people that's like really basket cases, because they have that pandemic did a lot, not only to adults but to children, to our teenagers. And so that's why the mental health is on the rise. It's on an increase. It's so many people trying to get mental health appointments in Baltimore City that the doctors don't have any appointments for them. They don't.
And on top of that, there's the social media is going crazy. The violence is, like you said, is going crazy. No, everybody's raised by phones. Nobody goes outside for a walk of fresh air. Everyone's always got air conditioning blowing. Nobody opens the windows no more. You know, there's no. The food doesn't taste the same since the pandemic. They got gay shit on TV. Excuse me, I don't care if someone lives that way. I respect them if that's their path, but you can't repopulate that way. So how the heck is it really real?
People have lost it. And so we have to be careful when we're having these conversations. And when you start seeing people drift to the other side with their conversations and they start saying certain things, sometimes we have to learn how to be quiet and allow those people to go ahead and blow your smoke and your steam and do whatever it is that you need to do. But me, myself, and I'm gonna sit back and let you have this, because it's no need in engaging with them, because you don't know where it's going to take you when this is all over. When you finish talking, you don't know
what's sad.
It is sad, but that's reality. That's
Lady J, can I say? And I'm not. I mean, I could tell you're a person of strength, so I'm gonna just keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let it become like. Don't come of a place of fear at all of it, though. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying, like, make sure you stand on your ground no matter what, because that person that could be ready to snap could be saved by you keeping it all the way thorough and not holding back anything, because that's what they really need. Now, I'm not saying
that was the first show,
right? Right.
And you know, but on that particular show, when you're not being heard, the best thing to do, and that young man did the right thing. He did the right thing by just pulling away. Because when you're not being heard, you should never have to fight to be heard. If I'm not being heard, I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to let you have the floor and you expose yourself, because you're not listening. Now, if the louder I talk, you start talking even louder. If I start screaming, you start screaming. We're not being heard. It's a mess.
It's just a clusterfuck, right?
Yeah,
right. And
it's the pullback.
That's men on top of that. And my other guy, they both street dudes. We had a Baltimore dude and a New York dude, two street dudes. The streets always straight aggression. But the thing is, it was the older cat and a younger cat, with one had a little bit more patience and the other one didn't have none at all. So they wasn't balancing out at all. So that's why they kind of went at it, because they didn't really, they didn't even really have a disagreement. They just didn't communicate.
It was all love.
Yeah, it was. Absolutely. It sure was. It sure was.
And Chad, I think it was you that said something earlier. I don't know if it was Jamal's show or in this show, where you were talking about how like, you know, men talk to each other, like different generations, how you talk to each other, and you're talking. And so, but we got to understand this, and I understand the whole generation thing. And as
back in the day, you could get away with that, right?
Yeah. And the young men would be quiet, because
Uncle Pete talking, shut up, right?
You be quiet and you.
That's how it's supposed to.
But you didn't see Uncle Pete online. You didn't see Uncle Pete at the syphilis joint. So you think I'm Uncle Pete? I ain't Uncle Pete, right?
And so we got to understand that these young people are not used to listening. They just want to be heard. And some of them may let you get a couple words in, but the thing about these young people is that they have to learn how to trust you first. So if they're talking to us and they feel like they're not being heard, that trust is gone. So you have lost them. They're not going to hear anything that you have to say. But when you sit back and you allow them to say what they need to say, they will bring you into the conversation when they're ready. And that's the thing that people our age have to understand. We ain't back in the day no more. So you try to hit somebody over.
Well, I'm not even gonna say, because even for me, it's tough to feel that, to do that, because this modern generation. Because he's 28, I'm 32, but I feel 23. So, and I be around everybody, all different ages, different times. It's really not about age at all, like you just said, because Jamal, I've been kicking it with Jamal since I first met him. I want to say we've known each other maybe almost 2 years now, maybe almost 3. But he has a youthful spirit. He might be aged in a man's time, but the wisdom he has keeps me youthful. I mean, keeps you know, and the youth that I have keeps him giving me wisdom. Like, we reflect each other. Like, and you guys being on the show, even talking to him, you guys aren't old. You might have age, but you have the wisdom. You are youthful in that energy. That's why you can talk to younger people and they understand, they look, they agree, they understand. So, and of course, this is real life. We're always going to have some clashes somewhere, somebody, somehow. Yeah. But when you stay youthful, that's exactly this. And that goes back to my opinion of God. That's being in that energy. And regardless if you say God, Jah, Allah, Buddha, it's all the same to me. That's why I don't claim a religion. That's why everything is be positive, Don't be negative. If you do positive, you go to here. If you're negative, you go to here. If it's real, if it's fake, I don't care. If Jesus is white or black, I don't care. What I care about is I want an eternal life if it's really real. And if it's not really real, hey, I'm gonna be cool while I'm here. I want everybody to be positive and get along because life is so short.
You have children?
No, I wish. I want 3.
But you know what? I tell parents that you need to always be engaged with your children. It doesn't matter if you're 30, 40, 50 years older than them. You need to understand what's going on in their generation. And don't be afraid. Like, I hang with my son.
Exactly.
I hang with my son. I have
exactly.
We were out at the casino just eating and watching the game, Saturday night. I hang with my son. Like I said, his friends are like, I don't think none of them are 30, but they always want to hang around me, And you have to learn how to relate to them, because the one thing as a parent that I don't want my son to do, and I never did, I don't want him going to the streets to get information. I want you to get your information from me, because I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to keep it 100. I'm going to let you know. But I don't want you getting it from the streets. Right. And parents, that's that comes, because it's a lot of parents my age, and they like, well, I ain't gonna be friends with them. I ain't your friend. You listen, forget all of that, because once you start talking like that, you start pushing.
You lost them
And
away.
that goes back to you having that youthful spirit. Like, you have to have that way. It keeps you youthful. Yeah, you have to stay that way. Because
tell me something, Jamal.
Anybody that's not into touching with the youth is gonna go farther from it.
Yeah.
So I understand, in the Muslim tradition, Jesus is a prophet, not God. So do y'all deal with the New Testament?
Deal with all the books.
But Jesus is a prophet.
I don't talk about that stuff.
Yeah, Jesus is a prophet.
I don't talk about it because I don't want to keep on repeating myself.
Well, I ain't never asked you that.
And then, like, she set up and say, I got 7 kids, 1 deceased. They're different human beings, but I'm in touch with the music. I'm in touch with the food. I know what colors they got. These parents are disappearing acts, and these kids are coming up angry. And guess what? They hurt, and they don't give a fuck. Because when they say fuck you, they really mean that shit.
They sure do.
Seen that? You seen 300 people, 1 person tonight. Could you imagine the other ones that's like that? Father never there, and all this stuff with his mother. And the crazy part about it, if his mother was to come out and give him a hug, he'd probably fucking forgive her. If she was just generally be on some just pop up somewhere and give him a hug, I'm telling you, it's real. That's all he want. He remember DMX.
You're gonna be waiting a long fucking time.
LadyJ.
If it don't ever come, whatever.
Yes.
He was raised in a foster kid. He don't even know his parents.
I never met anyone I'm blood related to ever. Oh, LadyJ, listen. The realest thing I think you said, in my opinion, well, you said plenty of real things to that, but the one that stood out to me was he needed a man in his life. And I'm not talking crazy, because I was laying down. I should have came on the show and spoke with him, but I didn't want to get into nothing with anybody. Not that I'm afraid or nothing like that. It's just I'm that same type of aggression, so I don't.
Yeah.
I was trying to do what you're saying. I need to listen. I'm an arguer. My mother will tell you I'm an arguer. My homies will tell you I'm an arguer. I don't want to be arguing no more. I want to mature. I want to use 2 ears. That's why I got 1 mouth. That's why God got me around Jamal, so I can shut the heck up and listen sometimes. Yeah. And I've been soaking up a lot of game that I need, and maybe that's what somebody like.
But see, when you say
God need,
when you say he need a man in his life, what kind of man, LadyJ? What
he needs somebody that he could respect, to not go over the top, because I'm not sure his
obviously somebody
his father
obviously
in there, and
this man God been keeping his hands on him. That's obvious.
Absolutely.
So whether it's 5-hour conversations or 5-second conversations, God, that information is getting dispensed, obviously. But in a respect of,
he's a special dude. God is he definitely got a heavy balance he's got to weigh within life, and that's amazing. It's an amazing thing to go through such a survival trial and be blessed with a gift and a curse and have to deal with it like we all have, But you know, with the story he displayed and stuff tonight, that's some deep stuff, man. It's not.
Well, this is the thing. We're all born for a purpose and with a purpose. And so when you're born with a purpose and for a purpose, it doesn't matter what you go through. Nobody can take it from you. Nobody can tear you down. You're going to walk in that purpose. I don't care what you go through, whatever fire you go through, you're going to walk in your purpose.
You said he need to be around a man. What kind of man, Lady J? He need a whole village of men, not just one.
Listen, this is what I'm saying, right?
No, just one.
Women, and let me start off by saying this. Because like I said, in our society, in African American community, we've been taught how to disrespect our man since slavery. And so we you know, we're gonna raise the children by ourselves. I don't need no man. Listen, women, you need a man to raise your son. Okay, when your son gets to a certain age, they need a man. And so I recognize that when my son turned 13, I said, oh, he need a man. Even though his father's dead, I got to put a village of men around him, because it's some things that I see in my son that he about to go through that as a female, I can't connect with. I don't know what to tell him. I don't know how to have that man talk and that man code and all of that. And women have to stop saying they don't need a man. I can raise my son by myself. No, you can't. You can raise him by yourself.
Well, keep in mind, he said his manager is older. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Miss Lady J.
Put a man in your child's life. And the reason I was saying I'm glad he has a manager in his life. Y'all saw how he lit up when he said,
he's older. Right.
I love my manager. I love him to
He
death.
took the time to build that trust instead of just leaking on him. Right.
Right. And that's what young men need. And young men, I know my son loves me to the end of the earth, but at the same time, my son still needs the men around in his life, because y'all know how to talk to each other. I don't know how to give my son everything that he needs. And so this young man, I'm glad that he met Jamal. And see, this is what's going to happen. Because God has his hand on his life. God is going to strategically... I said, because God has his hand on that young man's life, God is going to strategically put certain men around him. You didn't just meet him by accident in New York. Right. That was not an accident. He said, I like you. He said, Jamal is an OG. He was just big up you all night long, you know. And so you're going to forever be connected to this young man. The manager that he has with him, they're going to be forever connected. He's going to connect with Chad. It's going to be...
this dude don't let everybody in. Fuck that. He going to test you first. I'm sorry. I'm listening.
Yeah, but I'm saying that it's not... But this is the thing, Chad. It's not up to him. Because God is going to strategically put men in his life. Yeah. And men will be popping up in his life. And everything that he did not get as a kid... God's going to restore and give it back to him, because I'm sure some stuff that he didn't even go into detail talking to us about what how he really feel and what he really needs emotionally. But the fact that Jamal happened to be in New York at that particular moment to meet this young man, to meet his manager, none of this is by accident. No. Jamal came into my life. Jamal be telling me, oh, Lady J, I'm glad I met you, because I was going through this and that. I was going through some stuff when I met Jamal that Jamal didn't know about. And Jamal became like a big brother. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't just randomly let men come into my house. I open the door and let this brother come in, because I said, this is a brother. This is a man of God. So me and Jamal have been in here several times, just sitting here talking, because God, and I met Jamal through Kevin Curry. I'm supposed to be doing a show with Kevin. All of a sudden, me and Jamal friends. So that's why I said God strategically puts people in your life. And now I understand Jamal is in my life, because Jamal keep me in check, you know, because sometimes I be thinking with the heart, and he got to check me and let me know. And so that's what I'm saying about put this young man having certain people in his life, and particularly it's going to be men. And after God finishes building the men around him, he's going to put some women in his life to love him and show him what love, you know, from a female mother, not in love, but like an older mother kind of figure in his life, to show him that. but it's going to take time. He on a journey.
Right. And you see, for me, what helped me is I got to look at the shit I done to people. I can bag all day on my mother. I got to look at what the fuck I did, even though if she didn't train me a certain way, I wouldn't carry or act out a certain way. It comes to a certain age that you have to accept responsibility on this shit for yourself. It's no longer mom.
He said, "Fuck his mother."
But I mean, I've been there. I get it.
No. I asked you, how did you feel?
Listen,
I didn't feel any different. I just told you. Didn't I tell you I talked to my mother yesterday for the first time in damn near a fucking year? I've been through this shit several times. And every time we connect, she'll fuck it up. You feel me? Yeah. After having my ass whipped. After niggas telling me to move in with them and shit like that. After people identifying years later, they saw this disconnect. After the broom. So, but where I'm at, I'm not like this man said. What's your name, sir?
Moon.
Like Moon said,
my real name
because of where I'm at now, I'm not letting any fucking thing jeopardize me getting in heaven. You feel me? If I gotta apologize and swallow this motherfucker, I'm gonna swallow it. You heard me? That's where I'm at. Because, like I said, what Daryl had to say was perfect, but it was the delivery. And then, I mean, I'm not criticizing. That's a grown man. Love him to death. But after you say this shit 2-3 times, it's just going to gravitate to a fucking argument. You feel me? So I understand it's like smacking a woman. For Daryl, it would have been like smacking a woman in front of you. Now, I don't know. Maybe this new generation would fucking laugh. The old generation would be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. And that's the thing. See, can I say something on that too? I think in between the times fell off, people let too much shit slide. And I'm not saying the older generation, but maybe not you guys, but some men in your generation
they was fucking up crack hit. So everybody that's my age, they was crackheads. They don't want to hear shit them niggas got to say. They didn't watch these niggas suck dicks in alleys and all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Hey man, could you please let me go ahead and let me go slide for $3? Yeah. I'm not him. You feel me? Everybody ain't built like that.
No, they're not.
I ask y'all a question. Why are we, and this the brother that was on your show, Jamal, why are we dismissing the abuser?
Because he said that. He said that.
Listen to what I'm saying. Why are we, and even in Chad's case, we want to tell the young people, oh, you shouldn't be saying this and you shouldn't be doing this and blah, blah, blah.
Right. No, she was dead fucking wrong. Right.
He was abused in every way that was reasonable. And we're telling him, you need to do this and you need to do that and you're wrong and you shouldn't say this and you shouldn't that. All right. And nothing was said.
You saying give a pass, but no reason why.
And this is the same thing. We can sit up here and we can tell him, well, he shouldn't be saying this and he shouldn't be saying that. But if we had a woman on the screen and the woman was sitting there with a black eye because some nigga done punched her in her face and gave her a black eye, all the men would have been on the panel pissed off because this dude been abusing her. But we looking at a young man that's gone through abuse, and because it was his mom,
now, fuck no, I don't give him no pass.
He's pretty much being jumped on because that's your mom. Like I said.
I wasn't jumping on him. I understood. I got it.
But I'm saying he was being jumped on.
Okay.
Because he was saying, F my mom. Listen, this young man had gone through abuse. And even though it was his mom, we still can't forget that the mom was the abuser. The mom don't get a pass. You don't get a pass because your mom. No. Anybody can open their leg and put out a baby and get pregnant and put out a baby.
Let's keep it in context just for clarity. He did say he already forgave her. He had already wrestled with this. He already done with it.
Right.
That's why I said.
But what I'm saying is that when we're having conversations, we got to make sure that we think as we're having conversations.
Right.
A lot of times, people are sitting there persecuting the victim,
right,
and letting the abuser abuse is abuse.
Right.
I don't care if it's your mother, your father, your sister. Right. Abuse is abuse.
You heard what I said. You heard what I said. My uncle screwed his own daughter.
Yeah, That's abusive behavior. Does your
So
uncle
who is us to say honor your father and mother when you doing stuff like that? Come on, man.
right? Do your
But
uncle get?
I don't think they heard
Oh.
each other out fully, though. That's just
But-
me on the outside looking in. It wasn't a miscommunication. They heard what each other said, but once they started like going back and forth, they didn't, and then they thought they heard something.
So
But
me and
with
Jamal had this conversation after the first show, and
Yeah,
it was
but-
about. I'm sorry.
No. What I was saying is what triggered the whole thing was the guy was saying you shouldn't say that about your mother. Well, here's the thing: his
I
mother,
heard, yeah.
his mother was an abuser. Bottom line, his mother was an abuser. That should have been the end of the conversation.
Right.
And now we need to be pouring into this 28-year-old young man. Because mom has a whole bunch of damage. Why are we still talking about her? She ain't on the screen. Let's talk to the young man. And I'm saying, with everybody being older, talk to the young man. But he wasn't even hearing me. The guy talking wasn't even hearing me.
Do you think he's still deeply hurt?
It said it again.
He said already forgave him.
Of course.
Do you think he's still deeply hurt?
Of course.
Of course.
Not according to what came out of his mouth.
This is the thing. You talking about the young man?
Yes.
Yeah, of course he's still gonna always be hurt, but he's also healed and he's learned how to move on and deal with that hurt. But if you were to sit him down and have a real deep conversation, I'm sure he would tell you, Jamal, it's still stuff that really hurt me. And we all can say that. We all can look at our life and say, you know what? Hey, I went through that, I healed from it, but it's still a part of me that still hurt when I think about it. Because you don't want to be born. Who wants to be born into a mother and father and you treat it like trash? You think that's not going to hurt you the rest of your life, but you heal from it. You learn how to heal and move on.
You try to kill me with fucking cough medicine?
Yeah, you go through it. But you wasn't walking down that aisle.
Jamal, I said this to you when we was talking. Shad would say, fuck my mother in a heartbeat. But because of God, I don't. You feel me? And I'm not sitting there saying, I'm not comparing. Look, to compare some shit doesn't mean one is necessarily big because once again, pain is subjective. It's up to the individual.
See,
but graphically, it would be easy to
saying the same thing you're saying was forgive your mother because
you got one of them. You got one of them noise dampening microphones because when somebody else starts talking, it kind of cuts you off.
Our guy earlier, he didn't know the other boy was Muslim. So he was saying you need to forgive your mother so you can go to heaven, basically. He didn't say those words, but that's what he was aiming at.
I had to point that out.
Like, fuck that, F my mother. So that's where the miscommunication came in. They didn't see eye to eye at that part. That's what it was.
My thing is this. Why are you talking about religion? Why are you bringing
that? We didn't that was Jamal and him. Started that off with we both Muslim. You heard me. So the only context that we could take it from is, like I said, I don't know how that part works for the Muslim.
But this is my thing, Chad. Don't assume that I'm not going to heaven. Cause see, I'm gonna take because we ain't even talking about that. I don't and what I'm trying to get everybody to understand is we're all triggered by something.
Right.
And there are always
I'm triggered by French fries.
That will trigger. Now on the panel and somebody came at me and said, well, Lady J, you should be doing this to make sure you're going to heaven. Now you done triggered me because I know where I've been and I know where I am now, and I don't need you to tell me do this, that, and the third to make sure I'm going to heaven. What I need you to do is mind your business. That's what I need you to do. And so it's certain conversations that are triggers for people. And that's why I said when you feel like you're being triggered, pull back. Yeah. Don't keep going into it because you just going to get more and more and more upset. It was a great conversation, but people just need to learn how to calm down. But again, like I said, when people are hurting or when you hit that trigger button, they say a lot without saying anything. And you sit there and listen and you let them continue to go off and you'll see all of that hurt and pain coming out without them even saying to you, I'm hurt, I'm in pain. The young man had gotten off the screen and the conversation was still going on.
He had to go. He had already said he had to go. Yeah. He was already late for something.
Right. But what I'm saying is that the conversation continued. That should have been the end of the conversation. He ain't even on the screen anymore.
Yeah, you're right. you know.
So people are going, and this is what I'm saying about people being hurt. People are going through, still holding on to a lot of hurt and a lot of pain. And sometimes you get on these forums and it just oozes out and you explode, and the other person don't even know what the heck you're talking about, you know.
Right.
And it's we have to learn how to manage those conversations, not get caught up in it, but we have to get to a point, you know, and this is why I do these life coaching sessions and stuff. We have to get to a point where you let people say what they have to say, and you be okay with them saying what they have to say, because you already know how you feel.
Word. So the worst thing you could do to a person is say, you need to get over that.
So let's point this out, because I lost it before. What we talk about, let's look at the dynamics and what's going on, and fuck feelings. A lot of kids are being raised by women now. A lot of dudes are being raised by women now. And how women deal with certain shit is not how men deal with certain shit, but they're picking up women traits about how to deal with shit. And then mixing that shit with testosterone, and this is what the end result is. So when we're sitting there saying there's a lot of young men like that feel that way, I'm positive. Nah, I can't go there. But I would love to see a study that shows how many of these folks come from a dysfunctional family versus a nuclear family. And I'm sure the statistics are going to support that the more broke up that nuclear family is, this is what you get. And I relate, because even though I came from a nuclear fucking family, my mother was, you know, she a piece, you know, I love her to death, but whatever the fuck happened with her young, I'm not going to be the fucking scapegoat for that shit forever. Even this show, I don't talk to you but every couple years, but you got to sprinkle some little shit about you think you a know-it-all and this, and that, and the third to fuck with my subconscious. So I relate to that. Meaning, if I was that simple, oh, my mommy said I can't do it, but I'm not. So I also understand what he was saying about people, and Jamal was saying it. People don't want you to grow. They want to see you fucked up like they fucked up. Then they would justify them being fucked up.
No, that's facts. Because, and that's the thing. I respect young boy, and I would like to be somebody to talk to him, because I'm a man too, and I'm only 2 years older than him, so he could look me in my face and say, I'm a millionaire, young boy, fuck you. But I might have something to say that could help him from bumping his head. When he was saying, you know, I don't want to listen about the gray hairs type shit. Remember he said that? Man, yeah, I was told by a Jamaican man, he told me, trust the gray hairs, man. You know why you trust the gray hairs? Because that's wisdom. I got some in here. It's not a lot, but I got some. It's wisdom.
I'm going to say again, this was me at 5th fucking teen. This was me at 15.
You can help. The thing about men that Lady J was saying is that men can help other men is like E40, the rapper, said. He's 40-something years old, still rapping, but he's still in the game for a reason, because he's spitting nothing but knowledge. He said, I talk to my OGs, try to get my advice, because everything I done been through, they done been through twice.
Boy, 2 doors upstairs. Boy, 2 doors from where I grew up at molest me when I was like fucking 7, 8 years old. Word. Come home, tell these people that's supposed to be protecting me. They blow this shit off or act like I'm talking out the side of my fucking head.
What?
You feel me?
But you know,
the motherfucker 2 doors up from me was going to die. By the time I was 13, I already had this motherfucker's, I got his name in my memory now. This motherfucker was going to die. Okay? But if that's where I'm trying to take it. If God wasn't in me, I would definitely not be sitting here. I'd be in a fucking jail right now.
Yes.
I'd be in a jail. And strategically, like Dr. J, you saying, the people during my journey, the people that I needed to talk to slow my ass down, to keep me from acting a fucking fool, my cousin Dominic, who was on like smart, right? That was Dominic. But Dominic was like, nigga, we going in the military. We got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. But he couldn't leave that motherfucking bag alone. He kept getting that bag while he was in the service, and the government was right on that shit. But that's another story. But this is some really good stuff tonight. For real.
Yeah. To say also is that, you know, when we were growing up, like just what you said about, I had friends who were molested. I was molested. And you go tell
I was the angriest motherfucker on the planet. I tried to kill my fucking father. Yeah. My mother done hit me with shit, beat my ass, extension cords, name it.
I got
and then this shit. And then I'm yellow and I'm my only child. Fuck with me if you want to.
Yeah.
Hostile.
Yo, big respect, man.
God is good. I'm done with it though. It's gone.
My mother was raped and my brother was raped.
Oh man.
My mother and my brother.
Yeah. And see, the parents back
Sorry
then,
to hear that, man.
They were actually taught in their generation, like, okay, you told me you was molested, now go play. You know, they were taught they didn't discuss anything like that. Like that was taboo.
Come back. You had to keep them. Yeah.
Mommy, somebody mess with me. So they were not taught how to deal with it. They didn't know how to deal with it. So they just said, go play, you know, and it was just like another day for them. And they believe me, they dealt with that pain. They dealt with the pain, but they didn't know how to even hug, love, or communicate with the children. And so the children, I always say, like, my generation, I messed up. You know, I know I messed up because it was so many things that could have been talked about and conversations had that were not had, because my generation, my parents' generation is called the silent generation.
Yeah,
I'm from the baby boomer generation. My parents
don't talk about it.
Right. It's called the silent generation because they didn't talk about anything, and they don't talk about anything. And there's certain things about my parents, and they still living in their 80s, that I don't know about because it was taboo. You don't talk about it. Not that they're wrong, but that's the way they were raised. And then my son is a millennial, so they talk about
the exact opposite.
Every fucking thing.
It ain't no holds barred. You talk about me and my son. We have conversations, and people be like, "That's your mom you talking to?" Like, we talk about everything because everything is out there, and plus they are in the social media, and so unfortunately for us, you know, and me, you, and Jamal, it's like we grew up in a generation where it was like, keep your mouth shut. If you talk too much, I'm gonna knock you across the room. Don't talk when grown people talking. Go in the other room. Why are you looking at my face? Ain't no children in here. That kind of thing. And
but
so
in a way, that's how it's supposed to be. That the new generation lost all that. Yes. And the thing about y'all's generation, the thing was, it was too deep into it. In the 90s and stuff, it started pulling away. 2000s, we were doing good. Mid 2000s, late 2000s, fell off.
And I'm not trying to bag on women, Dr. J. I don't want you to misconstrue, or the audience to misconstrue that I was bagging on women, saying y'all's emotional roller coasters and wrecks, but you do bake some good cookies. So it's all worth it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying usually the men are supposed to be the stoic, strong, nothing can knock me off my shoulder. Now it's two fucking words, you ready to fucking scream and holler. And my point earlier was, because you don't want to cut your mother, you cut me. You feel me? Because I represent that age of authority. I don't want to hear nothing. Fuck it. Fuck history. Huh? Oh, really?
Yeah, exactly.
Good luck.
Yeah, you can't, because if you don't take a look at it and try and fix for the new, it's just going to repeat itself if it's in a negative manner.
But they don't want to hear it. Like I said, my son, he's 26. Sometimes I be talking about stuff. All he'll do is just bust out and start laughing. He'll be like, "Mom, I ain't trying to hear that." Like, they don't want to hear about any historical stuff. They don't,
because they know it, or they don't want to hear it.
They don't want to hear it. It's like, why are we talking about it? It happened back then. Why are you talking about that? You know, they don't want to hear. All they want to they want to talk about the here and the now, and that's it.
You know what? You know why I could relate and not be, not going getting feelings and shit like that. I go into AANA. At least I used to. I don't go as much anymore. I hear this shit all the time. You feel me? $1 million or not, I hear the same shit. And the advice is the same. Get with God. And as you get with God, as you grow with God, this shit will change.
It's the only answer to anything. Like, is this the only way? Because it's like spending time with yourself is like spending time with God. Like, you become closer because you don't got no one else to talk to, really. So you talk to God. You have time to sit down and think about what's really going on, because there's no one else to interact or give opinions and fall in. The real us, when we're looking in the mirror, when we're laying down in bed at night, that vision we see that we want to come true, we really can make that come true if we focus on ourselves. Because when we focus on ourselves, we're doing God's work. We're doing what? Building, creating. He's the creator of all. All we got to do is do what? Be like God, create.
A lot of stuff we can agree on.
you know, and Chad, really, because you're the only one on the screen right now that's going to have children that's going to be, you know, growing. And
I'm listening to every fucking thing. You heard me. They only 3, but I got to see where this going.
And I was reading about them, the generation for them, because I had to study about that. And it was talking about the children in that generation, how they have grown.
We ran out of alphabets.
Well, listen, they've grown into a society that does not know how to communicate verbally like we're doing. They only know how to communicate by phone, by technology. They're the technology generation.
Yeah.
And so talking about how they are going to be the generation that won't be making friends and having, you know, let's go hang out, let's do this. Everything is technology, and it's going to be so different even as they get older, because you're really thinking like, okay, how do I relate to them? Because everything is through the phone, you know?
Do you know how hard it is to try and date now?
Yes.
Nope. Don't need to.
Oh, if you guys all got children, you know, so like, I'm looking to try and find like the right person to just try and build a family with. But this new generation, everybody I know, all of my friends, every last one of them, not one of them is with the mother of their child, man. Or they're all on their second mother of their child, and they got a baby with somebody else.
This is a joke. This is a joke, kinda. It's just like cars. Go foreign. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, no, word up. I mean,
they last longer. They run better.
I've been in America
They're smoother.
years. I haven't found a woman.
These motherfuckers got so many points and positions and stances, and I'm gonna get my respect. How the fuck do I get how do I get to know you?
Yo, I had a young lady. She gave me her number through Facebook the other day. We went to elementary school together. She sent me her number. And I text her and she don't text me back. Why will you send me your number if you're not going to respond?
Just so she can go like this. See, okay. Moon still trying to get that. Just so she can do that.
I don't understand.
Let me tell you why she did that. You know why she did it? Because see, back in the day, like, you know, we let the guys chase us, right?
Yeah, and I'm fine with doing that.
We let y'all come get, you know, you got our phone number and we talk to you when you call. The game has changed, and
it's
just as bad as the guys. So these women will get your phone number, Chad's number, Jamal's number, the other guy that was on the screen, and they'll start looking at your social media pages and looking at this, that, and the third.
Yeah, they want to pick their best bid, and I'm not mad at them for that.
You know, if Chad don't answer, then they'll be like, all right, well, let me call him up. If he don't, you know, and
the world's become instant.
Yeah. And there's no commitment to calling you. I just got your number. You somebody on the side. If I can't get these other people, then I'm gonna call you up. And it's just like the games that I see women playing now with men. And I understand how, you know, the tables have
playing it right.
Huh?
Are they playing it right?
Fuck no, they treating us like clowns. They treating us like we think they treat them.
I'm only 32, but like I'm old school chivalry style. I'll open the door. I'll be polite, but like ladies, I feel like they don't understand.
They don't respect that. I can open my own door with the old boy, or they say, "Oh, I got a sucker." Huh? See, I open doors and shit.
On the street, I'm like, you know, I'm how I gotta be out there, aggressive and just myself. But it's like I think the ladies want to see that side of me, but they don't understand this side of me is not built for them. It's not built for them.
Right.
And but they see me, oh hi. I'm a mama's boy. I'm a real polite gentleman. I'll open the door. I'll text you in the morning. But like, I don't think they want that. They might want the aggressive side, but it's like I don't know how to be mildly aggressive.
It's fuck that. I'm not gonna be nothing. No, I say hi, you say hi. Either you like me or keep it fucking moving. I ain't trying to be nobody but this nigga sitting right here. That's it.
Hey, be yourself,
and she'll come.
To come along.
Okay.
This woman, I'm sitting there going to do a job, and here she come. And I already, I can go through the whole love story movie shit, but it's like this. Just as long as you ain't selling out to the hobbits and shit, and then Warcraft looking chicks, just stay the course. Fuck it, focus on you.
Look, I'm 32 years old. If I make it to this Christmas, Lord willing, I'll be 11 years celibate. Did I want to be this?
Wow, you the fucking man.
after the first couple years, it
You
meant
can
something
throw
to me.
couches and shit. You can just throw whole refrigerators.
Well,
God
listen,
damn.
man, and that's what I'm saying. And like me, I'll never even tell any of these ladies until I feel I trust you enough, or until that special moment comes, if it ever comes, when it comes, I should say. Then after I'm gonna tell you, because I feel like you earned that or you deserve that. But
Right.
I can't. Like yesterday, I just went to pick up a young lady to go to. I just wanted to take her to the bank because I was in her neighborhood, and I was like, "Yo, let's go to the shooting range just right around the corner." I'm a firearms instructor. This is what I do. We went to the gun range, and I ain't seen her in years, and it was cool that I'd seen her, but our spirits was on two-way different levels. She smelled like cigarettes, and I don't want to chill with a lady. I feel like, I'm not putting myself on a pedestal or anybody else, but I feel like I deserve a more respectable young lady than that. And I'm thinking, why am I going on dates with this kind of woman? I'm not mad at her, disrespecting her in any way, and I would never say that to her, but I just feel like, Lord, I know you want me to be with someone better, and I know I waited this long, but it's like, come on, like I can't.
You know
Where you find this man at? Moon got principles, Jamal. Where you find this
Well,
man at?
Why doesn't
This man
the
got
rest of the planet
conviction.
live
But
this
you know
way,
what?
though?
Because you got to understand.
This man got conviction.
It's
Yeah.
not,
you.
it's
Much
not
respect.
your time. That's what you have to understand.
Thank
It's
you,
not
LadyJ.
your time. And so what you can do in this time right now is just keep on working on you. And sometimes God is preparing you and getting you right and getting you ready for that woman. He probably already got a woman out there waiting for you, but maybe something in you that has to be prepared even more to meet with her and to get with her. And so we have to learn how to be patient. Women ain't going nowhere. They always going to be on the planet. So you got to learn how to be patient and wait for your time. And when your time comes, your time is going to come and you're going to connect with that person. And shout out to you for being celibate, because a lot of men out here, and they hitting everything. Any back, front, everywhere. They hitting everything.
I'd have been married to Chia Pet by now.
Word. And I've had chances and stuff, and God even, like, I'm not gonna get into no details and be ridiculous, but I'm gonna tell y'all something like that's respectable and prompt for this speech. I was about to hook up with a girl one time, and she had like a skull thing above her bed, right? And I was like, "What the heck is that?" And she was like, "Oh, my mom used to do witchcraft." Yo, I'm telling you, yo. And listen, I get up.
That was a God showing you not to go down that road, yo.
I get up, I start putting my clothes on and everything. Headlights come in the window. I had a motorcycle back then. I walk out to my motorcycle. She walk out behind me. That's her man. He pull up. He said, "Who the f is that?" She say, "Oh, that's just the weed man. Don't worry about it." Yo, after that, I was like, I'm glad I did. Now, this is the thing. I was strapped. What if I was butt naked with his girl in the bed and he walk in the room? Might be scared for my life. I don't know if he's strapped. I don't know how deep their relationship is. I don't know what that was. So I know God helped me dodge that bullet that day. And I look at it like, all right, this is deep. And I've been with a couple of ladies in my time, and some of the ones I was with, I was at the edge of the bed after, like, damn, why did I just do that? And I never want to feel that again. So it's been forever, but it's going to be worth it in the end. And I truly believe that. That's why I waited and didn't waste it.
Let me tell you like this, for real. The Bible would say be evenly yoked. So you on that already. For me, I agree with you 100%. It's like I was never for numbers. I was for quality.
Word.
And I'd say you on the right mission. Either way, because you ain't got to worry about syphilis, gonorrhea, and all they fucking cousins and all this other shit going on, monkeypox and this, that, and the third. That's the way. Now you live in the life we supposed to live, and I give you props for having the strength to say that, because in this goofy ass world, they think if you're not hitting nothing, something wrong with you. No, I got a higher. I'm up here now. Word. I was here. I'm up here now. You feel me? So that's
dudes
right.
That's all getting some. If you ask me right now, like, not all of them, but because there's a lot of masculine dudes because I ain't no fruit, so I could talk about whatever. I ain't got nothing to hide. Like, there's a lot of dudes now that is getting girls, but they're feminine dudes. They try and do the hard big dog thing, but really they some sweet boys. You know what I mean?
That's the move now.
And yeah, because that's the thing. It's like ladies want a man that's more that, but at the same time they want this, and it's like, I just don't understand it, man.
I understand it. You might tell them some shit they don't want to hear with a dude that's feminized because that's what's here now. We just said this. The dude that's feminized, he ain't gonna cause no fucking waves. They can go shop together. You know what I mean? A dude, they'll know how to deal with you.
Word.
You know,
and
yeah.
Wait for the woman that God has prepared for you. That's the best thing I can tell you. Wait for that woman.
And it's going
now, LadyJ, can I ask you this though? And this is, I'm gonna just say it. What about the simple fact, like, I want to maybe be with other women? I'm gonna just keep it straight up, like sexually or like relationship wise, before I meet this woman. That way, I'm in like kind of I don't got any kind of ball rolling right now, and I'm talking to like 5 different girls right now, not out of trying to be a player or nothing, but just out of trying to just get some love, affection, a hug, a high five, a phone call, a text message. You know, and I'm not saying I don't get that from other friends, but like they're like lady friends and stuff like that. And I don't get friend zoned, you know, but sometimes girls try and get close with me that I'm not really feeling like that. And I don't want to hurt none of their feelings. So as a gentleman, I don't go ghost, but I back off. And then they try and come on. You know what I'm trying to say? But like, what do you think about me? I don't want to lead nobody on because I'm a good person, but I do put it like this. Yes, I would love the whole life book filled happy ever after ending with a wife and kids. I would love that. I want 3 children. However, I look at today's days and times and I'm like, yo, I'm cool with a couple chapters. I don't need the whole book. And I'm cool with sharing some chapters with somebody here until energies shift and meet somebody new, because I feel like, I don't know, maybe God wants me to meet more than one woman in my life. I don't know. I'm just being real with how I feel like that's been in my brain since a child. And my mom used to say to me, why would you plan for a broken home? I don't want a broken home. I don't know. I like more. Maybe I want more than one woman. I would love to settle down with one woman, but I just don't know. I don't know. I'm not a confused man either. I know what I want out of life, but I put it like this. I don't have any picks. I don't have any kind of picks. I just know I want it to be real. Whatever it is. I've got no specialty on what kind of real. It's just got to be real. And quality, like my brother said, quality.
I agree.
That's it.
Right.
But you just answered your own question though.
Yeah.
And you still have a lot of uncertainty going on in your mind about relationships, women, and all of that. So right now, being in, saying, okay, I want to be a woman. I hope somebody. I want to be.
Tell me everything. Don't hold me. I got no hard feelings. Please, I don't have thin skin.
I want a woman in my life. But to be honest with you, if you have those questions, you're not ready for a relationship yet. Because those are the things, like I said a few minutes ago, you may have things that you need to work out before you settle down with this woman. What if you get with the woman that God has prepared for you, but then you still like, I don't know if I'm
ready.
One woman.
I don't
hold the phone. Well, from experience. I'm sorry, Dr. J. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and so the thing is, the best thing to do is to wait and keep working on you, because you got those questions. You got to write those questions down on a piece of paper. Like, okay, this is what I'm thinking. What if this? What if this? What if this? And you got to look at those questions on a paper, and you got to start working on those questions until you get an answer. Whether you got to get it through therapy, counseling, or whatever, or maybe you could work it out on your own. But you got to answer those questions. And then those questions, as you answer them and you check them off, it's going to prepare you for the next part of your journey.
Moon, you this is me. I'm going to let a girl take me straight to the friend zone. We ain't even going through all that other shit, because that's the one that's going to fall in love with you. But besides that, when this evenly yoked thing, I've been married, divorced. My wife been married, divorced. When you meet that right one, it ain't no fight. You ain't got shit to figure out. It don't feel the same. You're going to know. You're going to know it's her. So I would say, I'm going to keep shopping, not necessarily doing anything. That's what I said. Put me straight in the friend zone.
And you're right, because I've
put me straight in the friend zone and let's go hang out.
Gotta jump into it. I've been this long without it, so I might as well treat it like, all right, that's cool. What else you got to offer? Because we can get to that at any time if it's really real.
Put me straight in the friend zone so that I'm hanging with you. I'm hanging with a woman, And while I'm out with this woman, I might see what I want. I'm not going to sit there and say, go pork everything you can until you find her, because that's bad advice. I would have a girl, or maybe you already got the girl. Look, we ain't even going to sit there and do this dice shit. I already figured out it's not you, but let's go hang out, because you're going to take me around a different crowd of people.
And
I might find one of your friends and be like, yeah.
I prayed for God to send. I said, Lord, if you can't send me like that woman of my life, send me some beautiful ladies that could be my friend. And I mean beautiful inside, beautiful outside, just beautiful women that could be my friend. Because maybe they can help me be around me to be like, you know, this is where you could improve at, or yo, don't rock with her. That ain't your energy. You know, just someone who genuinely cares, who would speak the real game to me. Who, you know,
and that's good too. You know, that's a very good thing to do, to be around different women. Then you get to see how women are, how they act.
I love women too. Like I've got no fix. Like
and that doesn't mean because you hanging with them that you sleeping with them. You know, but it's I have more male friends than female friends, and I ain't sleeping with none of my male friends. You know, but I love the fact I learned something from Chad every time Chad's show come on. I learn something from him every week. You know, Jamal, like I know I can talk to Jamal about anything. And so I have these men in my life, not because I'm madly in love with them or I'm trying to get with them, but I learn from them.
Same.
You know, and we need that. The male, female, we need that. And so in your situation, you know, it doesn't mean that you're going to be sleeping. If you go out every day of the week with a different person, let's say y'all go to the bar, to happy hour, y'all go do this, go bowling or whatever. Y'all it's just a friendship. You just hanging out, you know, but at least it's giving you another perspective on this type of woman, that type of woman, what they like, where they like to shop. You know, you get to learn a whole bunch of stuff just by sitting there and having a conversation with women. And those conversations, when you're able to go home and like put them all together, when that right woman comes along, you kind of have an idea of, okay, maybe I should try this, you know, maybe I should do this. But in the meantime, while you're doing all of that, keep working on you. That's the biggest thing, you know. And
for me, it was just a fit.
Yeah, I do that with myself. I don't date because I know that I still have some work that I need to do on myself, because I know that my tolerance level is short for foolishness when it comes with men, and I ain't gonna waste your time, and I'm not gonna waste my time. So I know that I need to work on me, because you gotta allow people to and, you know, I'm not there, and so I know that I have to work on me. But I still have friends, you know, and so I still have male friends, and I'm still learning from them. I hang out with some of them sometimes, you know. And I'm still learning, and I'm asking questions, and that's what I'm saying to you. Still do that, you know. Still enjoy. Yep, I love men, but I ain't gonna be going around sleeping with everybody because you know I love men. But I'm learning. You know, I learn, and that's what I'm saying to you. Use it as a learning experience now.
Yeah,
enjoy it, because it's a lot of beautiful, nice women out here. You know,
and I give you props for that.
Yeah.
And I need to start. Like that's the thing. Like I'm not a shy person either. Like I'll go talk to anybody. So it ain't nothing for me to just go and attempt to go and get a phone number or something. But like I feel like women are scared of me sometimes because
they are because you're too real. They not used to that. They used to fakes and fugazis, as Jamal would say. They used to people that's fronting
too. She was
used to people that's fronting.
Like, isn't that what y'all want for me to keep it real? Like,
no. Fuck no, they want to pretend that they on that fairy tale shit. That this you the king and the knight on the horse and all this bullshit. They want to a lot, not all. They want to go. Well, I'm not a woman, so I can't speak on it. But from what I'm seeing, they want to go with the narrative versus the individual. They worried about how you look with their girlfriend. Not
sometimes you can meet so many bad men in the road, and when a good man come along, you be looking at him like, boy, stop playing. You know, it's just like this you can't be who you say you are, because you so used to meeting knuckleheads, and sometimes that happens, and it's just like, you know, he probably gonna play me for a little bit until the next person comes along. So it's a lot of different and then a lot of women have just been hurt. You know, it's more men than women. And a lot of women have just been played with, they've been ran through. And women, to be honest, a lot of women are just tired. Like they tired of the games. A lot of my friends, they just like, look, I'd rather be by myself. They tired of the games. And I always feel like, me personally, I always feel like men are looking at us like it's a candy store. You know, well, if you ain't giving it up, I'm gonna go mess with her. It's just like,
and it's worse now. I do know that much. It's worse now.
Listen, I'm the type to try and get a number at a gas station or a grocery store, but I think the only way you can holler at any ladies now is you got to be on that social media crap. And I'm a 90s baby, not a 2000s baby. Like I'm 1990, not 93, 96.
I'm still on the, hey, how you doing? Let me give you a call. I'm still on that. And if you can't do that, I don't want to fuck with you. If you worried about what my fucking Facebook page looks, if you worried about what my Facebook page looks, we done, because I'm not on Facebook. So, you know, but trust me, it's a girl, it's a woman out there that feel all the shit I'm talking from experience. It's a woman out there that feel all the stuff that you feel. It ain't gonna be no fight, no figuring out, none of that. It's gonna be like, damn, this shit is this real? You're gonna be doing this shit for real, and it's gonna be worth it, because she gonna make the same sacrifice you making, she making. You feel me? Not that I'm pure like the driven snow, but evenly yoked. I'm not saving myself 11 years for a fucking flea bag. You hear me?
Word up. And I almost gave in, yo. It's sobriety. It's like sobriety. You just gotta stay with it.
Right. Right.
And look, the thing that keeps me focused is STDs, AIDS, hepatitis C, monkeypox. All of those keep me focused, and they keep my legs closed. Like I tell everybody, listen, I ain't trying to get none of that chlamydia, none of that stuff. No. And so, you know, if a guy is talking and my mind starts drifting, I'm like, because I am not trying to go to no clinic. And everybody is sleeping with everybody.
Yeah, especially in the city.
It's just crazy. Everybody's sleeping with everybody. And then not only that, a lot of people are like bisexual. So they sleeping with men and women. I know them.
It's freaking weird, man.
Men and women. And then they come back, they want to sleep with you. And I'm, nope. I said, people can laugh at me. They can do whatever. No. Now that game, I ain't gonna play that game right there. But you know, that's the thing that you gotta really think about, because like I'll be telling some of these people, one day you're gonna find that one person that you really want to settle down with. And you done slept with how many people? And then you finally find this person, they're gonna be looking at you like, no. You know, sometimes you gotta work on your, I be telling people you gotta work on yourself. Like, work on you.
This gonna sound a little stupid, Moon, but that girl, she's not gonna have a smell. When you smell her naturally, no perfume, shit like that, on some animalistic DNA type shit, you're not gonna smell her. It sounds stupid, but if you think about I've had a badass chick, and it wasn't that she was dirty or none of that stuff, but whatever the fuck she was eating or whatever her body chemistry was, I couldn't get past it, right? Or like, let's look at dogs and cats. So that scent shit has a lot to do with it. Your senses have a lot to do with that woman.
I never heard that before, Chad.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty real.
Think about having a funky ass husband. You love them to death and they sweet and all that shit, but they got an odor to them. Right. It sounds dumb, but we're part of the earth.
And I'm big, earth. Yeah, I'm big on smell. I am big on smell. Like that
shit. I can't go if it's trash anywhere around me. I can't go to sleep because I can smell it. I can get smoking and all. I can smell that shit.
Yeah, I'm big on smell. If you stink a little bit, that's a little bit too much.
Right. Yeah. Or even let me put it in a better way. When she funky, it doesn't even bother you because her funk is not so overwhelming that you like, ugh.
Word. And that's the thing, like, how we eat and what we drink. We're gonna be around people that are on the same mind. You know what I mean? Dating wise or relationship wise. So like, I don't eat nothing that's gonna make me super stink. So I doubt my woman will.
Yeah. Right.
Yo,
you attract how you act. I always say that. You attract how you act. And so if you be patient, that person that's just like you is going to come along. That person is coming. And I believe for you, you're still young. You still young. And I would enjoy my time as much as I can, because once you settle down and you get into that relationship and then you start having children and it's bills and stuff, like that's a totally different life.
I'm living it. It gets better because that's who I'm supposed to be with this time. I'm divorced. I've been divorced and remarried, and it's a whole 360 from the first relationship. It doesn't get old. It doesn't get stale. The sex gets better because as y'all get to know each other, you both realize y'all both nasty ass freaks. So that shit's out the window. Nobody worries about who farting. All that shit is done. It doesn't. It's not like, oh, the same sex tonight. No, it's boy.
Yeah, it's because somebody you got love for.
Well, it's beyond that. You see, I mean, the outside is great, but the inside is there. All that shit is working in tandem, man.
Right. It's all one. You're one when you're together. You're one.
Right.
And that is so beautiful, because one of the things that I think about for myself is that, and I think about this all the time, it's like I will probably pass away. Like as I get older, I'm going to pass away, and I'm never going to know what it's like to really be in a relationship and be in. Well, I knew what it was like to be in love, but that was the wrong relationship, because that was in a relationship.
That's how I feel.
I just feel like I'm going to die, and I'm never going to know what it feels like to have somebody love me like I love them, And
your instincts are good. But if it comes, don't push it away. Your instincts are good, like the dude that we was talking about when we first started talking. Your instincts are good. So when if he comes, don't push him away. Just smell it first. Yeah.
I'm saying, like, every time I hear you talk, I'm just like, that is so beautiful. That is just so beautiful. And that's something that, I wish for everybody. I just feel like it probably won't happen for me.
I'm just trying to get points with my wife. I'm joking. I whipped her ass last night. I got to say something good. That's a joke, right?
That's
a joke.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
It's real.
Be that way, man.
It's real.
Natural.
Listen, I'm going to go because I got a basketball game tomorrow.
J-Ball.
He's upstairs. He's on the phone upstairs.
Oh, he probably talking to his boo. But I got a basketball game tomorrow, so I got to get some rest because I'm with a bunch of middle schoolers tomorrow. I help my son coach. He's an athletic director at his school, and I'm one of the coaches with him for basketball. Those kids be wearing me out.
I love basketball. Oh, I got the Be More buckets on right now. Jamal got
wow.
Because he knows how to hoop. I play ball, so he knows. Yeah.
So do you live in Florida or are you visiting?
Yeah, I live in Florida. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I met Jamal. That's how I met Jamal. I was dribbling a basketball up the street. He was like, "Hey, yo, come over here." I dribbled over to him, and he was like, "You're not from Florida, are you?" I was like, "What you mean?" He was like, "Dudes from Florida don't just go up and down the street dribbling a basketball through the legs like that, man. Where you from?" And then I was like, "I'm from Philly," and he was like, "Man, I'm from East Baltimore, man. What you know about what you know about basketball?"
Wow.
You know what I mean? And that's how it all started, man. And like ever since then, like I tell him, man, I'll keep you youthful, you keep me wise. Deal.
That's right.
So, have you seen how much weight he lost? Dude, he's looking good, man.
Yeah.
He's looking good. Now he did that on his own. I can't say nothing about that. He was like, Moon, I took the advice you said, because this is advice I got. I had all type of weight on me when I switched my diet. And look. I'm telling you, this is me. This Jamal is me. You know what I mean? Right. I'm telling you.
So do you drink like a gallon of water a day?
Look, we're supposed to pee clearly 3 times a day.
Uh-huh.
Why not? It can't hurt to look. Have all the soda, all the sweets, all the sugar, whatever. Just pee clear 3 times a day. That's the goal.
So, on that wavelength, Dr. J, you don't necessarily have to drink 85 gallons of water. Drink water. That's in dispute right now.
And
because,
real water. Look, there's a difference. You see this great value. Please don't. I mean, shout out Walmart. I like Walmart for a lot of things, but don't buy nothing in this planet that says great value on it. This is the stuff because they chemically making people gay drinking this shit. I'm a conspiracy theorist, but
it's in the plastic. It's the bottle itself,
and
it leaches estrogen.
Word, and this is real alkaline water from like Smoky Mountains in Tennessee with a pH balance of 8.2. Like that's what our blood level balance is. So when we drink this, you can feel the difference from when you drink this purified great value.
You can actually feel the difference.
You can feel the difference like crazy.
And high alkaline water kills cancer. Cancer does not like a high alkaline environment. So when you increase your pH, check with your doctor first. When you increase your pH, it starts to kill the cancer because it's like putting a saltwater fish into a freshwater tank. It's not meant to be there.
Shout out Dr. Sebi.
I was asking him about the water is because I was drinking like a gallon of water a day because I don't drink sodas and stuff like that, right? So I went and did my physical, and I had to do a urine test. And the doctor's, she's like,
it ain't nothing in it.
And I said, I drink a lot of water. She told me I was drinking too much water because my urine was too clear. I had never heard of that in my life.
Tell me where she is so I go slap her. Or I'll get a girl to do it for me.
These people, they're paid to tell you these lies. They don't want nobody healthy anymore.
Too much? How do you drink too much water?
In my life, she told me, I said, well, I do drink a juice. I said, but I don't really drink water. I mean, I'm soda. I said, the biggest thing I drink is water. And water has helped with my weight and everything, my skin, all of that. She said, you're drinking too much water. You got to add juice to it. And I'm like, okay.
Let me tell you what a Rasta man told me one time. He said, eat the red, green, and gold. You never grow old. And that stuck with me ever since.
What is red, green, and gold?
Red is like red peppers, strawberries. Green could be like cucumbers, spinach. Gold is like banana, pineapple.
Squash, okay.
Squash.
Vegetable.
You know what I mean? Red, green, and gold, you never grow old. You mix that with water. Look, like tonight, me and Jamal, we had oatmeal for breakfast. We had avocado toast with some salmon on it for lunch. Crazy shit. And then for dinner, we had tacos with onions, cilantro, beans, lettuce, tomato, and cheese. No meat. But we had 8 tacos. We could eat all them tacos because there's no meat in it. There's no flesh in it. When we eat flesh, the animal blood mixes with our blood, which makes us sluggish and tired. That's why we get tired when we eat a Philly cheesesteak. That's why we get tired when we eat anything that's meat, because it's animal blood mixed with our blood. Our white blood cells are trying to eat it to slow it down in our bloodstream. That's why we get tired. When we eat nothing but fruits and vegetables and a high alkaline diet, full of energy all the time. You're never sluggish or tired. And I'm not saying I don't eat meat. I'll be lying if I told you, but now I eat it very sparingly. It's got to be home cooked, because home cooked is always respected. We did it ourselves, or someone we love did it. Or you got to just be craving it. That's it.
Right.
I don't eat anymore. I mean, I haven't bought meat to bring home from a grocery store in years. Okay. When I eat, there's no meat. I don't really eat meat. And this year I made it a point to cut out all of that going to the fast food. I don't go to the fast food places. Tonight I made carrots, carrots, cabbage, and I put onions in there, sauteed it. But I didn't because when you cook it and make it really soft, you cook out all the nutrients. So I sauteed that. I had one of those wraps, a tomato wrap. I mixed it in there. That was my dinner for tonight.
That's how you eat, Queen.
Yeah.
That is how you eat.
And
let me tell you.
You know what my son said? Mom, I ain't coming over tonight.
Oh yeah. Yo, because I'm telling you, but look.
No, I'm still a caveman.
I'm telling you, look, I never said meat tastes bad. Never said that.
I'm still a caveman. You give me a cow and a fork, and I'm good.
Listen,
Right.
my son gotta have some meat on the plate, and every time he look in the refrigerator, he be like, "Mama, you okay? You good?" He said, "Do you need some food?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because every time I look in the refrigerator, it's like you just growing a garden. Because I have lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers. I have my fruit. Because I told him that, especially as you get older, you got to start eating healthier. And like you said, I feel so much better that I cut all of that. I cut the bread out, the meats, all of those potatoes. I love fried potatoes. Cut all of that fried stuff out. I'm down to fruits and vegetables and water. That's what I'm eating.
Way. It's the only way.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. And look, yo, I'm telling you, I'm from. I love a cheesesteak. I go to Baltimore. I was eating at Moe's with Jamal. We're getting the crab. You know what I mean? But we gotta do it as all right. I'm in Philly. I'm gonna get a cheesesteak. I'm here for 2 weeks visiting family. Let me get 4 instead of 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
I'm in Baltimore. All right, this is an occasion. This is where the real crabs are at. I'm gonna get a rack of crabs or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Slab of crab.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's more of an occasion thing. Other than that, we gotta go fruits and vegetables, red, green, and gold. Have a smoothie. Get up early. Have some oatmeal that fills the stomach up. Now, I'm not saying don't eat meat because who doesn't like some good lamb every once in a while? You know what I mean? But we got
turkey.
Smoked turkey. That sounds slaptastic.
Yeah.
Deep fried turkey. I had it like once in my life, and I wish I had it again. It was so good.
We did give up pork this year. We gave up pork for smoked turkey. Smoked turkey is now the new bacon.
Oh, okay.
All that bull crap. If anybody out there is fixed on bacon and they looking for a bacon alternative, that turkey bacon, all of them just taste bad. Beef bacon is hard to come by. You get you one of them smoked turkey drumsticks and just chop them up in slices.
Okay.
You forget what bacon is. You forget what bacon is.
I watched this lady on social media, y'all, and she cooks. She's a vegan, right? Her food always looks like the real thing. So yesterday, I was watching, and she had bought a mushroom.
Made it look like steak.
Yes, before she even showed how to do it, she had a plate, and it looked. I swear, it looked like fried chicken wings.
Wait till you eat it. It's so tasty.
She had fixed. She had cut up the mushroom.
Yes.
Cut it off of the mushroom, and she had wrapped it with layers of some kind of veggie bacon or something around it, and fixed it just like a piece of chicken. And I'm telling you, when she put it on a plate, that thing looked like
so slaptastic.
It's unreal. I was like, I gotta try that because I'm not a mushroom person, but the way she made it look good. And then I know that they do have like the vegan meat and stuff like that. I have tried that.
Some of it's all right.
Yeah.
But let me blow you guys' mind real quick because this is what blew my mind. Brother Chad, Lady J, I gotta tell you right here. My guy from the islands who's vegetarian blew my mind with this. He said, let me ask you a question. What's the one meat dish you can't give up? I started thinking of all the different ones I love. I love this. I love that. Said jerk chicken is my favorite. I grew up with a Jamaican household, so I grew up jerk chicken is my favorite. I gotta have my jerk chicken. And he said, well, let me ask you this, and this is what blew my mind. He said, is it the meat you're in love with, or is it the seasoning? Yo, the next day I went to the Jamaican spot. I said, let me get my rice and peas and cabbage and plantain. And please just take the jerk sauce and pour it over the rice and the vegetables with a boiled dumpling, right? Boiled dumpling. So I got boiled dumpling, rice, peas, cabbage, plantain, nothing but stuff from the earth, no meat, but the sauce that goes on the meat, the jerk. It tasted the same way. I was full the same way, no sluggish and tired, and I had a healthy bowel movement. It's the seasoning we love.
We've been conditioned to have a piece of meat on the plate. And I'm not with that no more. This year I was like, nope, I'm not doing that no more because
Gotta
like
have some veggies and stuff with it.
looking more into how these animals are being fed and the way they're being fed and bred, and we putting that stuff in our bodies. And I was like, nope, I'm not doing that no more. And
Of the whole conversation tonight, this offends me. You're talking me out of my damn meat. I'm a meat eater.
Chat, listen, can I say
this is offensive? All that other shit, whatever. This hurts.
Let me tell you one more thing. Let's take Chick-fil-A, for example. Damn, I love some Chick-fil-A, right? Every time you see a Chick-fil-A, every time there's a line around the building, right? This is what the mall's respected.
The hell they selling?
Right? Watch this, though, right? As much meat as America consumes. Now, I'm not just talking Chick-fil-A. Let's add Burger King. Then we'll throw the more upscale shit in there, like Olive Garden and all that. You know what I mean? And then we'll put the high-class spots in there, right? Every single spot, line around the door or slow restaurant is serving chicken. And as much meat as America consumes, how can all this meat be real? Now, this is the point I got on top of that, though. Chickens, they have arms, legs, teeth, beaks, but eyeballs, cousins, blood, same shit we got, intestines, right? And we're eating that. But on top of that, listen to this part. They in slaughterhouses, right? So they're listening to their uncles, cousins, mothers, brothers, sisters get slaughtered. You know, chickens got to send some type of noise out. They're not quiet, right? And they're grown to live in these conditions, right? And then right before, so I'm going to put I'm a perspective kind of person. I'm going to put myself in the chicken shoes if I was the chicken, right?
Right.
If I'm listening to my family and friends and everybody gets slaughtered, that's making me very stressed out because those are all my loved ones. And next thing I know, I'm next. But before they get me, I'm very stressed out. Why? Because all my loved ones are dying and I know I'm about to die. So I'm very stressed out. Boom. They kill me. They killed me when what? I was stressed. I had a chemical cortisol in my body that had me flexed or not soft and happy and jolly, right? I was angry and I was in that mode, right? Then they killed me, and next thing you know, people are eating me, and everybody's walking around here wondering why they stressed. We're eating stressed out meat, and then we go and mix coffee and cigarettes and pork on top of that. Like, come on.
Yeah.
A hardcore hunter will tell you that when they kill deer or whatever they're hunting for, that they try to do a clean shot, that the animal doesn't know that it's happening because when they shoot and their shot is off and the animal runs, it makes the meat taste different. In other words, these people eat deer, not occasionally, they eat deer. Yeah. They know the difference between the deer that was a clear cut that died instantly versus what Moon just said, the deer that had to run off and all of that stuff all of that adrenaline is circulating through their system. It changes the flavor. Word.
And that's why there's different qualities of certain foods and stuff. And I'm not saying don't eat meat because we're only human and we American and we from the East Coast. So you know what type of flavors and dishes we all grew up on. Like I was eating scrapple in Philly as a young boy, like all scraps of a pig fried into this little square.
Oh, I know what it is.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. And so and now that I'm an adult, I look at it like, wow, we was really.
I don't even buy it. Yeah, I don't even buy that shit. Yeah, my kids don't even know what it look like.
Yeah, man, and mine won't neither, man, because this stuff really. Y'all already know the origins of the BS, but on top of that, it's designed to kill us. It's designed to kill us nowadays. Maybe back then it was just designed to feed. You know what I mean? But now they're putting whatever in it, and they're adding all this stuff. I didn't eat pork for 14 years. I had it by accident. I was in Miami in Little Haiti, and I was at a Haitian restaurant because I was just, testing different flavors, foods. And I had this legume, it's called, which is a vegetable dish, but I didn't know they had pork in it that time. 14 years I haven't had pork. And I'll tell you what, it was really tasty. I never said pork tasted bad. I really enjoyed it so much that I didn't even know it was pork. At the end, I was like, this chicken is good. And my guy was like, no, my friend, this pork. I was like, oh, shoot. The next day, my armpits was on fire, smelling like straight body odor. I was like, one day of eating pork after not eating it in 14 years. And it made me think, There's people that eat this stuff every single day. And on top of that, I don't want to get ridiculous, but you know, people that like perform oral sex on somebody that eats that stuff every day. You know what I mean? And it's like, it made me think, like, once again, these things have blood, brain, family, teeth, and we're killing it and eating it. Like, you know, I can understand that if we out in the middle of the woods, there's nothing left to eat. But with all these fruits and vegetables, and it depends what terrain we're on, that's why we catch and eat stuff like crab, because it's in the ocean right there, and that's where it is tasty and fresh. You know what I mean? But a lot of it's farm raised. It was caught from way back in the day, and then they repopulated it and ancestried it and all that stuff. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Now we eating a chicken that's a cousin of its cousin that interlocked, and then you know they got stuff growing in labs like 7-Eleven and all that gas station food, yo. Science lab, science experiment. And that's why, like, if you look at the chicken wings in 7-Eleven or the pizza in 7-Eleven, you could like hold it and go like this, and it'll go. You know what I mean? Like, real chicken don't do that. Real pizza don't do that stuff. But it's science lab, it's science experiment stuff. Like, you know, $1 chicken, $1 get you 12 chicken nuggets.
Something wrong.
Ground up chicken made into a yellow paste or a pink paste, and then they melt it and fry it so it's little chicken nugget balls. We're eating the beak and all.
Right.
Ted, you need to have him on your show.
Oh, absolutely. Whenever you're ready, Moon.
I would love to. No problem.
I got a show tomorrow. It's up to you. It's up to you. The door's open, though. You just let her know, and she'll send you a link.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let Dr. J know.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. Well, I'm getting ready to go because I gotta get up early in the morning. Like, y'all.
Let me get this straight. Are you gonna be on the show tomorrow?
What time will it be?
It's at 8.
8 at night.
Yeah.
All right. Only thing is, I do have a laptop. So yes, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. I'll tell you what. I'll come over here to Jamal's.
Okay.
That works.
I just need to know what my topic is going to be. If I'm doing my topic, but I'm gonna keep the door open. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm gonna stick with whatever you got going, and I'm gonna do it to my best ability. Whatever I can do to help, and just, you know, make
no pressure.
Cool.
No pressure. I'm glad that you open about it, so we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Or I always got something swirling up around here.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with whatever you got going, and we'll just go from there. And I appreciate the opportunity, and I'll be there, man. I'm not gonna BS you. I want to do it.
I'm good either way. But Dr. J already know the door is always open.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Give your email or whatever to Jamal, and then so that way I can send the link.
No problem.
I'll think out like around 7:30.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Tell Jamal I said, hey, I'll see him. Talk to him tomorrow.
Okay,
thank
sure.
You.
God bless.
Thank you, Dr. J. Thank you, Moon, Jamal. Smart. What is this guy's smart underscore? Does that mean underscore the whole thing or just smart? The
I think
line
it was
underneath?
smart guy underscore.
Smart guy underscore. Underscore underneath the whole thing or just
no?
What the hell's an underscore?
Smart guy.
Underscore is that one little at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if you look on your screen, like there'll be a long one that goes like a hyphen, and then there's one that's below the hyphen.
You know what? I ain't thinking I can sit there and just look at the show later on, like y'all should, and hit that like and subscribe button, and then I can just go ahead and extrapolate it out of the show.
And everybody check out Chad's show tomorrow night in Passive Perspectives at 8 p.m. And John Hansborough is going to be live tomorrow from there's a big event going on here in Baltimore, so he's going to be doing something live. His show comes on from 7 to 8 tomorrow, so y'all make sure y'all stay tuned.
I get to watch it.
Y'all,
good.
Much respect. Good night. God bless.
Love y'all. Y'all have a good evening. Love you, Baltimore, the world.
Shout out Baltimore.